So look to the horizon, not the cloud. I've been storming where the scope too cold. Seems like it crept up out of nowhere, all around. You was not what to forego. You never see it coming. You see, the money's the best for rise. You're done there. By the time you see you, you're not surprised.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News. We're here today with Mr. Stuffs. We're going to be doing Dspgaming. That was funny. Dspgaming, PUBG QnA. It was held on the 27th of January. This is today, on the day that I'm recording this, is the 29th. I actually had like 3 other videos that I was thinking about doing before I saw this come up. But yeah, why not? It's about, we'll go ahead and roll with this and we'll see what comes out of it. And it should be good. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News, always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG network and productions. You guys know the slogan, so watch me work. Hope you guys are doing all right, by the way. I hope you guys are doing all right. Here we go.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to drop over here. Master Saru asks me, what do I think of fake news? I think you're an expert on it. Yeah, well, here's the thing. I certainly understand why some people would say fake news, understand what it is. When people want to say whatever the fuck they want to say about you, they will literally take anything that's happened and twist it in a way so that it seems like it proves an argument, right? Phil said this in 2010. Obviously, he's a racist. It's like, what? But that's what I mean. Like, people will do that shit, and then they'll spread it as fact, as truth. It's ridiculous shit some of the time. So I understand. At the same time, you got to realize that sometimes the things that people pass as fake news is not fake news. Basically, you just have to look at it with an educated eye, and that's the problem. People don't tend to do that.
Okay, so how am I supposed to look at that Blip TV situation? Like, which is what he's referring to. I'm pretty sure he's referring to that. That happened in 2010, didn't it? Yeah, I think it happened around that time. So how am I supposed to take that, Phil? How's anybody supposed to take that? It sounded really bad. It sounded really insensitive. It sounded like, I would assume, of course, I've never actually been to one, but I would assume it's what you would hear at a Nazi rally or around the dudes who've had way too many beers and start making jokes about Jews in an extremely insensitive way, knowing that it's going to offend people and they wanted to get their kicks off of it. It doesn't sound very good. Now, granted, the argument has been not raging, but the argument is that whether he's racist or he's ignorant, he's a little bit of both, to be honest with you. Because, as most people will tell you, using race to make jokes is, in most, if you're good at it, that's one thing. But then if you're good at it, there's a punchline. But it's kind of like the lowest sense of comedy. It's kind of like the lowest common denominator. Not everybody uses it because it's really hard to use. You know what I mean? It's hard to use well, I should say. Now, granted, everybody has that 1 or 2 race jokes in their repertoire. Sure, absolutely. But it has a punchline, and usually it has a narrative and a story behind it. Something that people can somewhat relate to. I'm sorry, Phil, but I can't relate to throwing... I think they say it's like 6 million people, throwing 6 million people into ovens and burning them. Women and children included. I'm sorry, I can't relate to that. Nor do I see the entertainment value in that. Nor do I see how funny that is. There's nothing funny about it. Nor the Catholic jokes that you had following that. That was good too. And almost everybody's made that joke, but you were just really bad at that one too. It wasn't as bad as the Jew jokes, but it just wasn't very good either. And this is coming from a man who swears that he has all this creativity, but he can't say what he wants, so he can't use it. I mean, that's all he relates to, though. He's too scared to do it now. But back in the days when it was kind of the Wild West, if he didn't get as much shit as he did back then, he probably would keep doing it and think it's okay. And that may have a lot to do with, you know, just how he came up. But that's neither here nor there.
Instead to look at it and say, well, I heard this, it's got to be true, right?
Excuse me.
Or the flip side, oh, I heard this, but it's from this source that I know sometimes it's full of shit, so it's got to be false.
Even the devil tells the truth every once in a while. Every once in a while, even the devil speaks the truth.
You know, there's people who've said shit about me over the years, and, well, there's nothing in here but grips. What the fuck? And a lot of it's based on a snippet of truth, right? They'll say one little thing that's based...
He really needs to stop saying that, too. Excuse me. Because all he does is, by him saying stuff like that, he gives all of his previous statements life in some way, shape, or form. Instead of him just out and out discounting it or wanting to have a conversation, which he doesn't want to do, which if he had done that years ago and cleared some of this shit up, it might not be so bad. But that's neither here or there, and he'd have to actually engage with people, and he's scared of people, and, you know, that's just not going to work for him. But if he was to... saying stuff like that, like there's a snippet of truth to everything that's said about you, is just not a... no. Or when he said it that first or second time, recently, he started picking that up. When he said it, that's one thing. But for him to say that now as part of his narrative is terrible. And that's the thing with Phil. I'm not sure if you guys ever noticed. Whenever he hears something new, he automatically has to throw that into his repertoire, and he'll keep using it until he, you know, finds something else. And that's just a terrible... That's a, right. Well, first off, it's a strong indicator of someone who doesn't have a lot of interaction with anybody at all, to be honest. Like an actual face-to-face conversation. He's not in a group. He's not in with a group of people who are having some regular interaction. He doesn't have any of that. So it's kind of like a child who's listening to some adults talk, and he or she just picks up a word that they think that they know what it means and tries to spin it into a narrative. He does the exact same thing, and it's just not... It's going to get him in trouble if he doesn't quit it. He really has to stop doing that. It's not very good. He's getting up there in age where he should know better.
That was something that was said years and years ago.
Excuse me.
And they'll try to spin it like it's something that I said outright, which I didn't, you know. But then again, there's stuff that's happened that people can bring up and say, Phil really did say this or that, you know. But definitely, there's obviously thousands of idiots on the internet who literally don't...
All right, so for all the things that you did say that were offensive and so on and so forth, no apology, no nothing? Oh yeah, they'll take what little thing I said, excuse me, and they'll spin it however which way they want to. But for the stuff that I did say, well, and then he just completely avoids it. That's what I'm saying. That's why Phil won't engage with anybody, and that's why people look at him the way he does, because it's almost cowardly how he acts when it comes to his past misdeeds, and he won't address it. If he can't win the argument, he'll just leave it alone, and that's a really sad way of looking at life in general.
The only reason that they do this, that they say this shit about me, is to get attention for themselves. They're not actually caring about me or my content or the fact that I'm a streamer. They don't actually have a personal grudge. They're just trying to get a rise out of people. Let's say this overdramatic thing about someone on the internet who's had so much, you know, smut and shit said about them over the years, complete garbage, that people just tend to believe it. That whole escort situation, right? Complete and 100% factually incorrect stuff.
It was still entertaining than anything you put out, though. As true as that is, it was still entertaining. It was very, very entertaining for what little time we had it.
People took it as true because so much nasty shit has been said about me, they just tend to believe everything. Now they've literally become brainless, mindless sheep, believing everything that's ever been said because so much stupid, ludicrous shit has been said about me. It must be true, right?
What about when you were caught jerking off on stream, and you tried very hard to sit there and brush that off, like, no, it didn't happen, that's what wasn't the case, yada, yada, yada. Had Machinima sitting there taking other people's videos down and try to re-upload it, so on and so forth. And now you want to accept it, like, yeah, it happened, it was a mistake, nah. Doesn't that make you a liar? Because you had said earlier on, that's not what happened, that's not what happened? Isn't that what you did in the beginning? and now all of a sudden you just want to accept it because you can't run from it, and that, Big Daddy Machinima can't put you under wing and help you anymore? Seems a bit contradicting, isn't it? That's what I would think. I could be wrong.
So I can see both sides. I can definitely see people who've sadly been negatively affected by fake news. At the same time, you got to be careful. You can't just be calling everything fake news, because then it loses its power to say people are making shit up about you. And sadly, I hate to say it, I do think that there are people in power who do that. Oh, something negative said about me? Let's just call it fake news. But wait, there's all these factual backup and, evidence that this actually did happen. Oh, no, it's still fake news because, it's from those people.
That you kind of fall into that category, Phil. I mean, you don't call it fake news, but, like, for example, a video that I was going to do today, I probably still will. It's kind of late in the day, though, but I think I could probably squeeze one more in. Where you were talking about how that AdSense situation worked out. How you're spinning this new lie on that. You never said anything about nothing. You never told anybody to do anything. You never implicated or implied for anybody to do anything. And yet there is factual proof by 3 heavyweights in this this community, or in this realm, I should say, because I know people don't like calling it a detractor community, who can back that up with proof. This should be interesting.
Who don't like me. That's the difference. You can't just do that either. Sadly, in my case, I just don't really have a big defense, because as you guys know, there's so many assholes who are constantly saying shit about me. For me to just stop and address it at every moment, I would never have time to stream. I would literally never have time to play a video game or stream. I would just be constantly addressing the stupidity of these idiots who are just saying this shit to get a rise out of people and get popularity for themselves. So, in my case, it's kind of a unique situation where I'm not the president of the United States. I really have no defense. You know what I mean? Yeah,
So, when you lost your sponsorship deal, for example, because some good Samaritan decided to go ahead and give that company a heads up because, hey, they had a right to know who they were getting in bed with, you decided to make a 16 to 18 minute video about a situation that you didn't care about, and then proceeded to spend the last, 10 minutes of that video bashing the company that let you go, instead of trying to have a compelling argument, or even a counter argument even, to why it was a bit unfair on why they did, why they let you go. So you in turn turned a shitty situation, which it was kind of shitty. I mean, for him it was anyway. You could have made that situation better and still got the free chair out of it, which is I would assume, is what you wanted anyway. Is all you wanted was that free chair. But instead, you decided to shit it up, and now you ain't screwed yourself over with all of the sponsorship situations that will come down the line in some way, shape, or form. Because now they have a direct situation they can go back to and look at and be like, oh wow, okay, so they dropped him. Here's the reason why they dropped him, and here's his reaction to them dropping him. Oh boy, yeah, we don't need that. We really don't. So thank you, Phil, for proving that Good Samaritan right by how you reacted to the situation. You got played well. I mean, masterfully. For real. Like, you were in checkmate the whole time and you didn't even know it. The whole time and you didn't even know it. Jesus. Amazing.
For me, it's just, if people believe stupid shit, they will believe stupid shit, and there's nothing I can do about it. If they're that dumb to believe the dumb shit that's out there, I really can't help them. You know what I mean? Like, I wish I had a recourse. I wish I actually had a defense. And then it's funny, because then shit comes out, like the whole escort story was false, and finally it's kind of like, wow, finally some evidence that, shit that people just make up about me could be false. You think people will be skeptical about other stuff? No, immediately, you just continue. They move on to the next thing.
Because you can't wipe 10 years of shit away clean because one nugget turned out not to be what we thought it was. It doesn't work that way. Okay, so he had this one situation that turned out not to be what it was. Most people automatically assumed that it was fake. Most people thought it was a troll. Most people just kind of went along with it because it was entertaining. It proves out to not be true. There was some fallout on his end, as well as the end of the young lady who whose pictures were being used and so on and so forth. It was kind of a shitty situation all around when it came to the fallout of it. But that one situation turned out not to be what he is trying to portray was actual fact. Like, everybody was running around saying that, yeah, Phil had this escorted. Like everybody was running around saying that, like, that shit was the God honest truth. Like, they were going to put their life on it. Swear to God on it. On my mama. That it was true. Stop. But yet he expects that one situation that turned out to be what most people, if not almost all people, knew it was going to be. He expects that one situation to exonerate him from everything else. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You can't sit there and spend 10 years lying and treating people like shit, and then have one situation where you didn't, where, you know, you were actually not guilty, and think that wipes away everything else. It doesn't work that way. I'm sorry, Phil, that's buggy life mechanics. That's just not how that works. It really don't. It really, really don't.
Yeah, this must
apparently like how your taxes are going.
Be true, and this must be true, and this must be true, you know? It's stupidity. It's stupidity at its best. It's just blatant ignorance and just, you know, a desire to be negative about people at its worst, which is terrible. That the society of the world, the internet society, is so desiring to believe negative shit about people that they will just outright believe any fucking thing you say with no evidence. Like, in the 1990s, I remember this one time I went to the supermarket with my parents. You know, we used to go grocery shopping together. There was one of those stupid...
That must have been an entertaining trip. Hey guys, you guys really should buy me this cereal because this cereal is not going to be here next week. Okay? It says it's special edition. It's only for a limited time. Buy it for me now so I can get myself on the road to gout before it goes away and never comes back. Okay, guys? So stop being cheapskates and buy me the goddamn cereal. Thanks.
With tabloids.
I can see that. I can already see how that conversation would work.
Bill Clinton is a Martian. I'm not kidding you. The front fucking page of this tabloid said, Bill Clinton is a Martian. With a picture of an alien face and then him next to it trying to say that they looked the same. And you look at this and you're like... But the sad fact is, there's morons who bought that. There's some moron went out there, he bought that issue of the tabloid, he read the article, and he said, that might be true. See what I mean? I mean, if you want to be that stupid and that ignorant and that drama-filled, you're going to. You don't even need to have factual evidence of everything. You'll just be a complete idiot of your own accord. And there's nothing anyone can do about it. You know what I mean? Like, people will continue to believe everything said about me constantly, no matter what, with no evidence, because they are stupid or because that's how they want to live. They want to live in a world where at any moment the most ludicrous fucking thing said about someone could be absolutely, positively, 100% true. Without any factual evidence or any justification, they just want to believe it. They will live in this fucking weird-ass fantasy world. Now, it's our job as intelligent people that when shit like that gets thrown our way to speak up and say, no, are you a fucking dumb fuck? Like, you can't just believe something out of nowhere. You need some kind of substantial...
Okay, let's cut in there for a minute. One, I assume he's talking about magazines like the National Enquirer and stuff like that. It's kind of like this. It's kind of like what I do. It's kind of shit news and whatnot, except for I don't actually make up stuff on film. I just take what's already out there. But it's kind of just shitty. It's kind of just shit news for entertainment purposes. It's news just to be kind of entertaining. It's not really news. That's why they call it tabloids. It's just something you kind of read, you get a chuckle out of it, and you move on. It is what it is. It's really just to poke fun at the concept of poking fun. That's why they don't cost much, if I remember correctly. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't really know how much any of that stuff costs, but I know they don't cost much. It costs a couple of bucks. You're sitting in the line waiting to get cashed out. You pick one of these up. You find some stuff that gives you a chuckle. You throw a couple of dollars down with it, with whatever else you're buying. You take it home. You get some laughs out of it, and in a couple of days you throw it away. No big deal. That is what it is. What you get accused of doing is on a completely different realm. Now, let's talk about how no matter what, people are going to hate you and believe everything that's said about you. Well, you know, Phil, and I'm just trying to be civil about this, maybe if you didn't say that everything that's... Maybe if you didn't say, or, yeah, if you didn't say everything that was said about you, and those people who believe what's said about you are dumb fuck, idiot, retarded, yada, 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 maybe they wouldn't feel inclined to believe all of it. But see, the way you, but see, everything that, whenever he tries to make a point, he has to insult people who are on the opposite side of that point, which is why the numbers just constantly continue to grow. That right there is a lack of people skills. Same thing with his YouTube comment section. How about you just ignore it? How about the people who come to your videos and see all that toxicity? How about they just ignore it? See, none of you guys can do that because all of y'all are sensitive. That's what the problem is, Phil. And sadly, some of the people in your community are just as sensitive as you. So you guys whine and complain and do all this extra bitching. Let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen. Phil wanted to get rid of his comment section for a while. He's been wanting to do that for a hot ass minute because he was tired of seeing all the shit in there. And he just used his fan base as provocation. Kind of like that war dog leader situation where, oh, I was just trying to clear out the chat because he was derailing the chat and this, that, and the third. But then when the chat logs come out, oh boy, that none of that was said at all. Right, Phil? What was that? Was that false provocation? Was that me spinning a narrative that didn't really happen? Or can I actually do a quick Google search for those chat logs and that pops up? Oh, okay, but you have nothing to say now. People hate Phil, and I don't think everybody hates Phil. You clown Phil because Phil is easy to clown. You know what I mean? He is a clown in his own right. He just doesn't know it. Everybody's laughing at him, and he just doesn't realize it. He doesn't get it. And that's actually the sad part. But with that being said, he is a walking contradiction. He's a walking meme that constantly keeps delivering. And instead of just rolling with it and trying to profit off of it, he wants to bash it. He wants to take it down. He wants other people to take it down. And then when he can't fight it, then he wants to try to profit from it if he can. And then when that doesn't work, he wants to just leave it alone. And then he'll just cry about it every once in a while, which is what he's going to do with his escort situation. He's going to hold his hat on that from here on out. Oh, well, they say all these terrible things about me, but that escort situation wasn't true. And he'll do that, until he'll probably just hold on to it forever. And then it won't matter because he's always doing something else. He's always lying about something else. He's always trying to get over on his own fan base in such a way that someone else is going to look at it and think this is egregious, this is horrible, and they're going to call him out. And he knows that. And he hates it. It's like the con man who constantly gets caught and goes to jail and comes out and does it again, and gets mad that the people on the corner are calling him out and telling the police what he's doing. He's just kind of like, just let me screw these kids over and get my money. Okay? Just let me do it. And he gets mad when he's not allowed to do it. It's absolutely sad. And now he's getting up there in age where he's like, he just doesn't want to deal with the banter anymore. He doesn't want any of the problems, but then he still wants to talk shit. And that's always been Phil's problem. Oh, I want to say whatever I want to say, but I don't want I don't want any drawback. I don't want any responses. I just want to be allowed to say what I say, and then that's it. I'm not man enough to sit there and take what's thrown back at me. I want to sit there and say, oh, you gave this game a bad review, I want to punch you in the face. Or I want to strangle that guy. Or I want to go ahead or I got your fucking information. Or yeah. But when all that stuff comes back to him, he doesn't want to hear none of it. He's like, oh, I didn't say that. That never happened. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, you took what I said out of context. No. It's like that 15-year-old who tries to bully other kids, younger kids also, but tries to bully other kids until he gets his shit kicked out of him. And then he wants to play victim. I was just playing. I don't understand. What? He did it to me. There wasn't one kid that beat me up. There was 15 of them. And that's his problem. And yet people still feel the need to follow him. Who knew? Dspgaming.
Some kind of evidence that it's true. Or else you're just being a complete moron. But that's the thing, is a lot of people, in the case of me, and shit said about me, don't do that. Because they feel that, oh, well, Phil's just had so much shit said about him over the years. There's no point. Most of it must be true. Most of it is going to stick no matter what. That's just fucking sad, you know? But
that is your own fault, though. To be honest. Here, let me help you out, Phil. And only because I'm actually interested in this. So, really, it's for me, not for you. But whatever. You're selfish, so you should understand. Except for what I'm going to do is going to prove a much larger point. All I ask of you, Phil, all I ask is you produce the email the original, nothing altered, nothing bullshitted. Produce the email from Machinima, YouTube, or both. That says, Phil, we want you to delete these X amount of videos with this type of content in it. Remember when he was when he got one of his videos flagged because of the fan art, and he said that Machinima or YouTube both. Oh no, he keeps flipping that story around. They told me to go ahead and pull all those videos down, to delete all those videos. Produce the email that says that, with the proper date and everything. You produce that email, and that would go a long way. Not really, but at least with me anyway, it would go a long way into giving you a smidget of credibility. Just a bit. Actually, I have another request on top of that. I want to also see the email. I mean, obviously you can blur out names and shit because, you know, a lot of that I don't really necessarily need per se. But I'd like to also see the email that stated that you said that you're the guy who used to do your taxes in Connecticut told you in writing that, hey, I can take care of your tax issues even when you move over to Seattle, Washington. I am verified and I am certified to handle your taxes even in another state through their jurisdiction, following their laws and regulations. Produce that email too that you said that you have. Produce those two pieces and I'll stop doing videos on you. There you go. I will stop doing videos on you if you can produce both of those. And allow me to circulate it to other people to make sure that it's verified that it came from Machinima and YouTube and from your tax attorney in general. Do that. Do that, because you harp on those things all the time. Now you have to go ahead and show some proof. Hey, you have no problem with going ahead and putting your friends' information out there, their text messages and shit. You have no problem putting ex-girlfriend's information out there, you know, for a couple of extra views or whatnot. Do that. Prove that you're not a complete piece of shit and put those two pieces of information out there. The two situations of you being screwed and it wasn't your fault and it had nothing to do with you. Put those two pieces of information out there, and then we'll see what happens after that. Like I said, I'll quit making videos on you. And granted, this is a small channel anyway, so it doesn't really matter if I start making videos on you or not. But it would go a long way to give you some credibility. We'll see if he does it.
But anyway, I digress. I gotta run. Alright, shout out to Master Saru, who says, I find it funny people say you ban people who disagree with you, but you never ban block me on Twitter when I openly disagree with your Unsonic forces. Irish people will just learn how to talk to each other. No, I don't. I do not just create... First of all, this is the hilarious part.
First off, answer the goddamn question before you decided to derail it. How about you do that? Say, no, I don't ban people. Go ahead and sell us on the lie, because there's footage of you sitting in front of there saying, who said that wasn't a bad connection? Who said that wasn't a bad connection? Say it again so I can ban you. Say it again. Say it again. I'm just going to sit here and wait for you, because there is footage of you doing that, Phil. So you're blatantly lying there. That's just one video I can think of off just the top of my dome. I'm sure there's people in my comment section who could produce more. So, yeah. Don't make me start trying to dig into the archives or go into Snort Burnell or Mr. Stuffs or fucking Fred Fox or one of these guys' channel and actually look for it, because I'm sure I can find it. Second thing, answer the guy's question first. Say, no, I've never done that. And then go ahead and derail and try to spin your narrative to make yourself look good first. Like, do that. Do you not even know how to do that? It's just so terrible. Arg. His people skills are so bad. Just so bad. And that's why he reacts to everything so poorly.
Bill bans everyone in chat who disagrees with him. I'm playing a video game right now. How do you think I'm magically banning everyone in chat? I'm playing...
You do have enough time to sit there and look at people's questions, and even though you are roaming around, I know you guys can't see it, but you can hear it, him roaming around on the wild plains of PUBG, you're telling me that you wouldn't be able to ban somebody right then and there? Look at this Q&A right now. I've seen you ban people in between matches during your during, what was that? Ultra Street Fighter 4. How dare you? How dare you? Blatantly lying.
A fucking video game, you idiot. Most people that get banned from my chat do something really offensive or stupid. they get banned from it because a mod sees it or whatever.
Hey, let me ask you a question. How come Waifu Destroyer, what's that guy's name? I know they call him, I don't want to call him what they call him because that's just funny. Especially funny when Tevin calls him that shit. That shit's hilarious. Waifu Destroyer Matt. There we go. Waifu Destroyer Matt. I mean, he didn't get banned, but he did get 10 minutes of getting shitted on and then came back the next day. Yeah. Why did Waifu Destroyer Matt do that? Like, let's see here. Let me derail this for just a second. Like, here's the thing. Waifu Destroyer Matt actually, if I remember why he actually got shitted on, he made a decent point, if I remember correctly. You made a decent point, and then Phil shitted on you for like 10 minutes. I mean, obviously I'm exaggerating. It's probably like 5 to 7 minutes. But he shitted on you. Now, granted, it's funny that you had to keep donating to him so he would acknowledge you to keep shitting on you. That's neither here nor there. But, I can see why they call you what they call you, actually. But, yeah, it is what it is with that one. But why would you let this man shit on you like that? Like, you don't owe Phil anything at all. And obviously Phil felt that he didn't owe you anything because he couldn't even give you enough respect to address you as just a decent human being, as a decent person, I should say. Instead, he felt the need to spotlight you and shit on you in front of his whole chat. And yet, you still came back the next day. And the day after. And the day after. You're there up till this day. Was there nobody else that you can go to? Is there no other streamers that you watch? Are there no other YouTubers that you can engage with? So, when someone like Almighty Tevin, for example, calls you a cuck, what are you getting upset about? That you would let another man abuse you and then go back to him happily. You would happily go back to him. And you don't see anything wrong with that at all. Like, you don't have a problem with that. Like you as a person, you have no self-worth that you would let this man just shit on you and you just be okay with it. There's something wrong with that. There's something very wrong with that. So it's funny how Phil will sit here and talk all this shit about all these people and whatnot, and yet he treats people poorly in his own community, and yet you guys just keep coming back to him. Without any recourse. Without any self-reflection. Like, you know what? I'm worth more than that. You can't even say that. But you can go back to him like a beaten dog and give him money and be like, please acknowledge me. When in actuality, he just acknowledges the amount, and that's it. So, for example, Wifey Destroyer Matt, how about you come up and say something else that's truthful yet again, and we'll see how he reacts to that. And then we'll see if you end up going back to him yet again. I would hope this time around he says something really egregious that really hurts your sensibilities. I would hope you would say you would be man enough to be like, you know, Phil, I don't have to deal with this shit no more. I'm out of here, man. You know, I've been following you for a long time. I had a lot of respect for you, but I'm better than this. That's what you should have done the first time. But let's see if you'll do it. Let's see if the next time you'll do it again. Or you'll be like some of the other people in that chat and just stay quiet. And just nod and drink the Kool-Aid. And just go along with everything he says. We'll see.
And then they blame fucking me. Like, I'm the one who personally went out of my way to do it, even though I very rarely ban anyone in my stream chat. On Twitter, I only will block people on Twitter who insult me. If there's someone who says something that maybe I don't agree with or they're annoying me, a lot of times I just mute them. So that way I don't have to see their tweets anymore. I don't outright ban. This whole mentality that Phil bans everyone, no lie.
Wait a second. So, how often do you unblock people, Phil? Oh, you never do. Okay, so then what's the point? It would be the equivalent of being banned. They can't talk to you. You can't see anything that they're tweeting at you. Might as well be banned, I would assume. Right?
Came from the years, this is not an exaggeration, the years of 2011 and 2012, when I was used to police all the comments on my YouTube videos, because back then it was a different era on YouTube, and people wanted to have positive comments. They didn't want to have all negative, nasty, toxic comments. I would get complaints all the time. Phil, why did you go to your latest video? Did you see there's like 20 people who all said something disgusting on it? Could you clean that up? So I would actually go police the comments on my YouTube videos. Keep in mind, that was before live streaming, before I really used social media that much. All I really focused on was uploading on YouTube and reading the comments on YouTube and that kind of stuff. So it was a way different atmosphere than it is today. By the way, this was before YouTube was 100% toxic shit like it is now as well. That was 6+ years ago, very different place. So ever since then, all right, people made this narrative up that anyone that Phil doesn't like, he will completely block and completely censor, completely edit. And again, completely false, based on something that happened 6-7 years ago on YouTube. That, by the way, I announced in 2013 I would not do that anymore, which I haven't. I just don't have time. I don't have time to sit on YouTube and look at fucking comments. By the way, there are no comments anymore, because so many people got...
So wait a second. So you used to police your comments, meaning that you didn't allow free speech. And now you just outright took away the median for them to have any type of free speech. And you have modders that you tell them to ban any negative comments or anything that they perceive to be negative comments in your chat. Yeah, you sure as hell proved your point there, Phil. Good job. He's got his dead to rights, ladies and gentlemen. He's got his beat. He's absolutely right. He's completely exonerated of the situation. You did a good job proving your narrative there, Phil. Real good job. Real good job.
Angry at me.
I don't block or mute or shadow ban or anything now. I just take away your rights to free speech as it pertains to me. There you go, Phil. Good job. Good job. I would have never thought.
For not policing the comments anymore, and for comments being 100% toxic, that I removed them in September of last year. And by the way, it's had zero negative effect on any of my videos. In fact, right now, viewership is up in the month of January. Compared to all of last year, my viewership in January on YouTube is up compared to last year, with no comments on any video. So I think that just goes to show how useful YouTube comments actually fucking are when they're all toxic. But I digress. The whole mentality of Phil just censors everyone came from something 6 to 7 years ago and has no factual basis in reality. What
the internet doesn't... I don't... See, here's the thing, Phil. Like, how is it that you've been on YouTube this long and you haven't realized that the internet doesn't forget? It doesn't. Every stupid little thing that you do, every offensive thing that you say, someone's going to have it on a hard drive somewhere. Or it's on somebody's channel, whether big or small. Didn't Rich from Review Tech USA tell you this shit? He should know. People fucking have all kinds of stuff that he said all the time locked away, just waiting to use it. You know what I mean? This is how it works. You know what I mean? You can't piss people off and then not expect for them to piss back. It is what it is.
So fucking ever. A lot of people who say, oh, Phil, I feel that I was unfairly banned or whatever, get unbanned regularly. It's just that people want to believe this negative narrative about me with no factual evidence, once again.
Prove to us that you actually unbanned those people who feel that they were unfairly banned. Give us some proof of that. For example, you can't demand proof and then you not have any proof of your own. That just sounds stupid. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's just that just sounds out there. Oh, so you want us to prove our case against you, but when it's time for you to divvy up, you're like, oh, I don't have anything. Or, oh, that's not good enough. He's been pulling that narrative lately when it came to Brightside Viking. Oh, they haven't presented enough proof, or proof that I feel comfortable with believing. Oh, so the proof that was in front of you was uncomfortable enough for you that you didn't want to go with it? Yet again. Let's continue.
So there you go. Shout out to Infinite, who did another 50-bit cheer. It says, what is it about you that makes people so obsessive? People literally flock towards you and want to know everything about you because of crazy drama. What is it? I'll tell you what it is. I know exactly what it is. All right? Unlike most other people who have ever had popularity on the internet. Okay? Here's the thing. I got to a point, okay, where I had a level of popularity, but I never blew up to the point where I was immune to criticism.
No one's immune to criticism. Is that really what you? I'm sorry. Let's bring this back real quick, and then let's actually let him finish his point, because this is starting to sound stupid. This is starting to sound like DSP logic. In a minute, here we go.
I'll tell you what it is. I know exactly what it is. All right.
My bad. Let me bring it back to what the guy actually said.
50-bit cheer says, "What is it about you that makes people so obsessive? People literally flock towards you and want to know everything about you because of crazy drama. What is it?" I'll tell you what it is. I know exactly what it is. All right. Unlike most other people who have ever had popularity on the internet. Okay. Here's the thing. I got to a point, okay, where I had a level of popularity, but I never blew up to the point where I was immune to criticism, and or I didn't get a rabid, insane fan base of hundreds of thousands, millions of viewers. My YouTube channels never broke, never even reached 200,000 subs because of the nature of the video that I created. Creating so many videos in a day, people didn't want to subscribe to my channel because it would flood their inboxes. Also, unlike most other YouTubers who literally kept most of their shit secret.
All right, let's stop there. So, wait a second. So, your sub count was supposed to be a shield? Because you have X amount of subs that automatically makes you immune to criticism of you? Since when, exactly? Last time I checked, a couple of major news networks actually came after PewDiePie. And they certainly have, I'm sure NBC, ABC, and everybody else have way more influence than GTG Network and Productions. So that kind of sways that. Since when did you think that popularity was a shield that makes you immune to anything? It's whether you have 1 subscriber or you have 1 billion subscribers, you're still subject to criticism. It doesn't matter what your size is. But it doesn't matter. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I've honestly never heard anybody say, at least nobody on YouTube, ever say that, oh, my popularity didn't get to the point where I was immune to anything. And here's the sad part, ladies and gentlemen. He really believes that. Let's put things into perspective for a minute. I have, I don't even know how many subscribers I have. I have like 700. I think I have like 700 subscribers, I think. Maybe, something like that. Okay? I'm not immune to any of the, what as Phil would call, negative comments than I was when I had 70. Guess what? I'm not immune to any of the negative comments, as Phil likes to call it, at 70 as I was when I had 7. Guess what? I'm not immune to any of the comments that I had when I had 7 subscribers to when I had none. It is what it is. You put your voice out there, people are allowed to critique it. When you put yourself fully out there like Phil, people are going to critique you. It's the internet. That's what we do. So what made you think that either having either popularity, a number of subs, or a devoted, crazy cult fan base was going to protect you? I mean, let's be honest. You already have, at least Brightside Viking, at least, he's dead set loyal to you. And even he can't fight it all off. Despite his threats. So, what point are you trying to make with any of that? And you can't hide behind Brightside? You've already tried that. So, now what, Phil? You really think is that really what you thought? Is this what that guy with the glasses and some of these other guys used to watch? Is that what they taught you? Is this what Howard Stern passed on to you? Wow. I'm actually quite shocked. I gotta say. Just when you think that he wouldn't say something stupid, you can't give Phil too much credit. You just can't. Let's continue.
I shared almost all of my personal doings and beings with my viewers. So you would know everything about me if I was sick, how things are going with my YouTube channels, how things are going in my personal life with my friends, my family. Like, all that shit was always public. So for me, I was an easy target. You know what I mean?
Then why'd you make yourself an easy target then? You're a fucking Let's Player. Shitty or not, you're a Let's Player. Keep it to the game, man. You don't need to immerse people in your fucking personal life like that. At least not to the depths that you do. And that's Phil's problem. He doesn't believe, nor does he know, nor does he understand what moderation is. And you can see that on how he's run his business. His business is probably a good example of that. Sitting there flooding 20 plus videos out a day. Same thing with his channel. He sat there and exploited everybody. He's talked shit about his parents and used them as excuses, as shields. He screwed his friends over. He screwed a woman over that he said that he loved. Everybody around him is to be exploited. He's exploited fans, supporters, diehard fans, whales. He's exploited anybody and everybody that he can. If he can make a buck off of it, he'll do it. And that's the problem. And then this man has the nerve to run around and say that people don't have creativity. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe we should exploit our family and friends too. And see where that gets us. Sitting at 100,000 plus, sitting down at 180, I don't know if he has 180, if he has 180,000 subscribers like that anymore. Or, yeah, 186 I think he was at last, when I started making videos. I don't know where he's at now. But, yet again, maybe we should do that until we get to about the 186,000 mark and see if we plateau. I mean, granted, everybody's going to kind of plateau, so to speak, except for PewDiePie. He's at, I don't know what PewDiePie's at. It's like someone said like he was at like 60 million or some crazy shit. But I don't have to exploit the people around me to do anything, to be honest. You're supposed to be trying to protect them. If you want to go ahead and put your face out there, that's fine. If you have some friends of yours that want to come on camera and do that, that's fine too. But then the aspects of your friendship, the things that are shared between the two of you as friends should have stayed that way. You didn't do that. You've put your friends' text messages out. You've put private emails, so to speak, out that Machinima said directly to you. You've exploited your girlfriend because, God forbid, she pulled you from a shitty stream that was tanking anyway. And you completely put out her, you went ahead and just threw her under the bus for your own personal exploits. And then you got mad that people called you out on it. Yeah, people keep that shit to themselves because they're not there for that. If I came to a gaming channel, I want to see you play a game. Poorly or not. I want to see you play the damn game, so play the damn game. Period. Like I said, if your commentary is really shit, I'll just mute that shit and just go ahead and just glance over it while I'm doing something else. Or I'll just find somebody else who's better at it. It is what it is. But when you're sitting there willing to go ahead and exploit the very people that you're supposed to care about around you, it makes me wonder, Phil, when have your parents ever watched any of your videos? Have they heard some of the things that you've said? And if so, what do they think? Come on, man, you're the realest person on YouTube, right? You shouldn't have a problem doing that. All right.
Like, also, I'm the most prolific YouTuber there's ever been. Meaning I've made more YouTube videos than any person ever on Earth. So it's...
What? I kind of want some verification on that. I feel like that's not necessarily true. He may have done it in the short... I don't even know if he's done it in the shortest amount of time. Because there's people who have done vlogs. No. I don't know. I want some verification. Because if that was the case, someone should actually give him the high point of his life and submit him to the Guinness Book of World Records. Someone really should do that then if that's really true. Because I feel like what he's saying isn't necessarily true. I don't think so. I don't think that he's the most prolific as it pertains in just the sheer amount of videos that he has uploaded. That just doesn't sound in particular. I don't know. We'll have to see. If somebody can give me some verification on that, that'd be great. Actually, no, I might look that up. We'll see. I feel like that's not true, though. I really feel like that's not true.
Easy for someone if they want to have a narrative they want to prove. Well, Phil has over 50,000 videos. Let me go pick through all of them till I find a video where Phil said something that sounds like what I want it to sound like he said for negative purposes, and they can find it. You know what I mean? And then it just became the fact that literally, the thing is, people hated on me from the get-go. But a lot of times people would just laugh at it. Like, there should be this guy called DSP Cult Leader who had a crazy channel on YouTube around 2010 that was literally meant just to make fun of me, okay? Just like people do now. Only back then, everyone just laughed at the guy. They said, this guy's ludicrous. This guy's a fucking idiot. People believed me and took the benefit of the doubt, you know, for me and said, no, this guy's an idiot and, you know, make shit up about Phil to get drama views or whatever. Then, all of a sudden, when This Is How You Don't Play blew up, which, by the way, started with that Rich Super Ride video or whatever the fuck it was about me, that was completely negative. And then it turned into the first This Is How You Don't Play video. When all that happened, people realized, oh my god, I myself, who have no fucking talent whatsoever, can't put out an entertaining video for anyone, but I could make a negative video about someone like Phil on the internet and get ridiculous amounts of views and get internet notoriety. Well, that's what I'm gonna do. And people started doing it literally just for their own amusement. And it just so happened I was the scapegoat because I was the guy who that first video had gone out there from. And by the way, I was the guy who did raw, unedited gameplay videos with tons of fails. I was the guy who prided himself on just being a crappy gamer, you know, an average gamer.
So wait a second, are you saying that the average gamer is crappy at games? Because that's not necessarily so. And didn't you say that you purposely, and didn't you say that when you did Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 that you just shitted it up just to do it, and you didn't really care? And then you did your Redemption run recently, which was, even in your own words, was admittedly worse than what you did originally. Average gamer and crappy gamer are two separate things, Phil. That's the first thing. Second thing, as it pertains to Evil AJ, he must be a very talented son of a bitch to be able to make what he made. That shit's amazing. And he's put up there on the, and he's like up there on the like Mount Rushmore of detractors. And all he did was go through the absolutely egregious, painstaking process of going through and using his creativity and your shitty gameplay to make a masterpiece. He must have had some talent to put that together. If he can take shit raw gameplay and turn that shit into Beef Wellington, I'd really like to have... And he's even gone back and made Baked Alaska. He's amazing. But you're going to sit there and say he's a talentless hack who made this thing that's bigger than you. That's the thing, Phil. You're telling me that Evil AJ is so untalented that he himself was able to make something that's bigger than you. Think about this for a second, ladies and gentlemen. This one man who allegedly has no talent was able to make something that's bigger than Darkside Phil himself, and started a genre of videos that overshadows Phil and his content. But he doesn't have no talent though, right, Phil? He doesn't have any talent. He doesn't have anything that makes him special. I am confused now. I am confused. I don't get it. I really don't. And especially since it was like I don't know. I mean, I think it's fair to say it was the first of its kind. I think so. I'm going to tie my name. I'm just going to tie my name to that one. But it's amazing. And from that, he was able to spark other people who do it too. And not just on you, Phil. But there are This Is How You Don't Plays that are done on other people too. Just yours are way more prolific. Like, people know, when people put in This Is How You Don't Play, you know Phil's going to come up. It'll probably be, 30 pages until you see somebody else's. Unless someone else has really done something stupid. But he has no talent, though? Jesus, Phil, you still salty about that even to now? Didn't you actually try to profit off that? Matter of fact, didn't you actually build a channel devoted to having people make that for you so you could profit off of their hard work? So they were talented hacks too, right? They didn't have any talent either. But you tried to exploit that. If it didn't have any talent, Phil, why did you get his first video pulled down? Why did you get the first This Is How You Don't Play Evil AJ make taken down? One can only wonder, I guess.
Played games for fun and didn't really care about being a pro-level gamer. So I had tens of thousands of videos to choose from to make these kind of montage videos. So I became the target of the negativity. So to honestly answer your question, do I honestly believe that the vast majority of people who do negative videos about me on the internet actually care? No. They're doing it for their own benefit. They're doing it for themselves to get popularity because they realize if they actually put out their own shit, they can't get popular. I mean, I'll just give you an example. Look at the guy who made the first This Is How You Don't Play video, Evil AJ. He's done his own shit. No one gives a fuck about it. No one watches his streams. No one watches his videos on YouTube. But those...
You must have. If you know, if what you say is true, then you must have. How else are you able to verify that? I'm just saying. And you know him by name, so obviously he's someone that rolls around in your head every so often. Does it keep you up at night? Do you whisper? Is that why Leanna left? You used to whisper, "Evil AJ took everything." Is that what happened? Oh, all right. Anyway, seriously though, I mean, even though I could see him in the middle of the night being like, "Evil AJ, you took everything from me." I could see him doing that in the middle of the night, and then he wakes up, and then he grabs for the gin and tonic that's on the nightstand, and takes it down, and it eases him just enough to slip right back into the pig pen. Anyway, but yeah. So how can you verify that, Phil? Like, did you watch any of Evil AJ stuff? Can you prove that? Because I've watched some of his stuff. I like a lot of his stuff, actually. Actually, I don't really know much of it that I don't like. I've liked everything I've watched, I should say. I haven't watched all of his material, but I've watched a good amount of it. So, yeah. Just saying, Phil. I'm just trying to get some verification.
A couple of videos he made about me gave him viral popularity. And that's the thing. That's what these people realize. If you just do negative drama videos on YouTube, you'll get popular. But if you actually do something constructive, no one wants to see your shit because you suck, because you're a fucking hack. Wow. And that's the case. These people couldn't ever be a fucking streamer like me and be popular because they're not entertaining. They're just negative shitheads, okay? Master Saga says...
I'm sorry, I didn't know Phil was entertaining. Is that true? Really? I did not know that. I've truly been dropping the ball on my... truly messed up. Phil is entertaining. Who could have known?
You're the only person on YouTube that I know who got rid of comments and grew because of it. It's true. I'm not even kidding you. If you look at my viewership, when I got rid of comments in September, my YouTube views went up, and now they're up even more in January. You would think, oh, they would have dipped because they were artificially inflated for December and the holidays. No, they actually went up in January. They're higher than last month with no comments. Big Boy Dumper did a 25-bit cheer. He says, the truth is that most of the people who...
In the time that you're reading a comment, you could ban somebody. You could probably ban a couple of people. And you're playing a game right now too, Phil. Just saying, I just wanted to prove my point from a couple of questions ago.
Thought you were bitter, and you are an escape for them. They choose you because you're an average guy, and since they can play some games better than you, they wonder why they can't do what you do, because they won't admit that it isn't just coincidence, that there's something to your character. Right, that's true too. There have been people over the years, they're like, man, Phil really sucks at games. How the hell is it that he could be a YouTuber and make a living? Now, of course, how could he be a live streamer? Look how he get the videos he's getting. Look at the people who come out and they choose sub and tip and they support him. That's not fair. I'm a better gamer than him, so by default, I should immediately have an audience like his who supports him. You know, keep in mind, I've done this for 10 fucking years and put out 50.
Yeah, exactly. You narcissistic piece of... Let me stop. First things first, ladies and gentlemen. Phil can contribute all of his success on the basis of quantity. Period. That's really what it all comes down to. He was, and I use this loose, I would say work, but I'd be betraying myself by saying that, so I'm not going to say that. Because, you know, I have a job and Phil doesn't. But, Phil was able to, it was not even able, he was willing to. It's not even, and people kind of misconstrued that a lot. But he was willing to put out 20 plus videos every goddamn day. Where the average human being would look at this and be like, there's no way anybody's going to be able to watch all this. Phil didn't care. So instead of him getting, for example, maybe 10,000 views off 3 videos he puts out a day, he would rather flood it with 20, 30 videos and hope he can get 100 views on each video. Here, let me give an example of somebody who, actually someone recently asked if I had an opinion on this guy. I might talk about him in another video, or I might answer your question, I should say. But a guy named Wings of Redemption. I'm not sure if you guys know who he is. If you guys follow COD, you have you guys know who I'm talking Wings has been on some hard times over the last couple years. And there's a lot of differences between Phil and Wings. A lot. Phil's just not depressing. Like, Wings is really depressing and shit. But we'll talk about that later. But Wings, back in his day, he used to put out. He didn't do what Phil did. Don't get me wrong. Wings did not do that. But Wings would put out like 5 videos a day. Now, most of you are like, oh, well, compared to Phil, that ain't shit. That's true. But for a Call of Duty, player back in those days, that was a lot of videos. That was more than was needed. He didn't need to put out that many videos. He should have only put out like 2 videos a day, which is what most people were telling him to do. Marky J used to do that. Marky J still kind of does. Well, he puts out a video every 16 hours, actually. But anyway, he used to put out like 5 videos a day. And people used to tell him, hey, Wings, man, this is way too many videos, man. Just scale it back a little bit. Let me appreciate what you have from a day or two ago. Because a lot of people are like myself in ways where I like to binge watch. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be able to watch every video that shows up in my subscription box every day. So I would rather just binge watch twice a week or something like that while I'm doing other shit. It just makes it easier. And Wings didn't listen. So he kept doing it. And for, his kind of core fan base, they stuck with it. But it was harder for people who were like the casual fans or people who were trying to put themselves in position to be casual fans to keep up with it because he just had so much gameplay. And if you followed Wings' commentary, his commentary was kind of split up amongst his videos. So I'm not saying that every video was like that, but some of his videos, he would talk about a story and then he would pick it up in another video. But if you missed that video, you're not going to catch it. Wings is kind of campy in his Call of Duty gameplays. He's really campy. He's, it is what it is with that. But, and most people just found that not to be very exciting. So you might be able to tolerate 2 videos of it, but 5 was a lot. And essentially it came to the point where his channel was so dependent on those 5 videos and the views that were coming off of them that when he tried to scale it back, it was kind of too late. Because at that time, and the way like the system was set up around him, they're like, oh, he's scaling his videos back. There must be something wrong. We might not need to promote him as heavy. And then it just became an issue. The thing is with Phil is same concept, just blown off to a goddamn extreme. Keep in mind, different genre of games though. But Phil keeps uploading 20 plus a day or whatever it is that he's doing now because he don't know no better. He would much rather flood the market with his videos or with his content or his art or whatever silly shit he's called it over the years than just being sensible about it and giving people a chance to actually really sit through and watch his videos. He's saying that because his comment section is no longer there, that his YouTube engagement isn't is actually higher than if his comment section wasn't there, or if his comment section was live. I'm sorry. I'd prefer to see some evidence on that because your comment section counts as engagement. But that's neither here nor there. I don't work for YouTube, so it is what it is. I can only tell you what I've read. But he's flooded the market because he didn't know no better. You know what I'm saying? He didn't care. Actually, it's not that he didn't know any better. He didn't care. He just chose to do it. You know what I mean? He figured that if he can corner... What he tried to do early on, essentially, to try to wrap this up, because now I'm just going on a spiel, is he tried to corner the market. And he did it by purposely flooding YouTube search. And the thing is it bit him in the ass eventually, but that's what his whole business plan is. It's always been that way, to flood the market and try to corner it. And the thing is he's trying to, in my personal opinion, he's trying to make up for the 3 million views that he lost a couple years ago, and he can't, because now he has to, instead of getting that 3 million, he has to get 6, and he can't because his views aren't nearly where they were. He dropped from getting 3 to 4 million views a month down to he's barely breaking 1 million. He screwed himself over in the worst possible way. And people tried to tell him years ago, hey man, ease it back. And he wouldn't do it. And that's where he is now.
3,000 free to watch videos for your entertainment.
And here's another thing too, because Rich from Review Tech USA said the same thing. You guys did this for free because you guys didn't have a choice. You guys couldn't monetize early on. You know what I mean? In the early days of YouTube, you guys couldn't really monetize. So of course it was free. It still is free. I don't know either one of you guys using YouTube Red. So when people say this whole thing about I provided you guys with years and years of free content, so did everybody else. You didn't have a choice. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have a choice.
Not that that has anything to do with it. It's just because they're better gamers than me overall that they should have the audience that I have, right? But
there are better gamers than you that have that have way bigger audiences than you. I found, for example, a guy. What's his name? Anyway, I found him randomly because I was watching. What's that shit called? 7 Days. Is it called 7 Days to Die? No, not 7 Days to Die. It's called. Oh, I'm sorry. It's one of those zombie apocalypse games or whatever. It looks really cool though. I used to watch, or I still do watch actually, this guy named Games for Kicks. And under my suggested videos, I found this guy's channel. And I went over there and the guy has like 22 million subscribers, dude. He's like pulling in like 5-6 million views a day. And he uploads one video a day. He blows Phil out of the water on a regular basis, and I had never heard of this person. Ever. And he has 22 million subscribers. And I've never heard of this guy, not once. He's alright, though. I gotta say, he's funny, he's pretty engaging, he's witty. But I had never heard of him up until I saw what was in my suggestives. So there are plenty of people out there that blow Phil out of the water. And then when I will say this, even though I don't know the guy's name, which is kind of shitty. The guy's only been doing this for like 2 or 3 years. Phil's been on here for 10. Well, he's been up there for 8. So where's your success at, Phil? Like, where's your real success, I should say?
Right, it's an element of jealousy, which I've said all over the years. It's always been an element of jealousy. Just watch the negative videos about me. They're oozing jealousy.
Really?
How could this guy still be popular when he did this and he did that and he sucks at this?
You're not popular though. Like you're infamous. You're not popular. I beg to differ if you were ever really popular, to be honest, but you're just infamous. You're not popular.
He sucks at that game. It's just 100% jealousy. They're so angry that I do this for a living and they have to go work their shitty fucking 9-to-5 job or whatever it is, and they're so butthurt about it.
I'm butthurt that I don't have gout. And I have to beg people for money. And I treat every woman who steps into my life like shit. And I'm too lazy to get off my ass and fly back home to visit my parents. Yeah, you're right, Phil. Your life is great. I gotta tell you, I never really, now that I put it into perspective and I've gotten over my own jealousy, I kind of see it now. I see what I've been doing wrong. You're absolutely right. I didn't see it that way. I really didn't.
That they, they're so angry. And by the way, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a 9-to-5 job.
Wait a second. Didn't you just say that I have to go to my shitty 9-to-5 job and now all of a sudden you're going to say, there's nothing wrong with having a 9-to-5 job? Oh, is it because you realize that the people in your comment section have 9-to-5 jobs and they work those shitty 9-to-5 jobs so they give your fat ass money? Is that what you're trying to say? Scale it back, Phil. Scale it back. Because the fundraiser's coming in April. Lord knows that you don't want anybody to show up because they have to work their shitty 9-to-5s. Just saying, Phil. I understand that your major whale is in between jobs right now. Shitty 9-to-5s. So, you got to give some leeway, Phil. You got to give a little bit of leeway. Just saying.
But I acknowledge publicly, I'm incredibly lucky that I've been able...
Wait a second. Now, we went from jealousy to people working shitty 9-to-5s to, okay, there's nothing wrong with having a 9-to-5. I don't mean anything by it. To now, I'm incredibly lucky. Pick a narrative and stick to it. Seriously. Please do. I very much appreciate it.
To do this.
I'm not going to pay you to do that, though. I'm just saying, please do it. Just have some decency.
This is a hobby for 10 years and do it for a living since 2011. I'm the exception to the rule. Most people who do this for a living professionally need to basically have some kind of a ridiculous thing. Like, they need to have a ton of money invested in it so they could do high edited quality content videos, which I don't have that money. I don't have.
I'm sorry, since when did people need money to do high-end edits? I've had people send me messages saying they would give me a free copy of Sony Vegas. Now, Sony Vegas is expensive, But I'll tell you this: people are using Premiere now, but for people who still like messing with Sony Vegas, I don't know not a single YouTuber that I watch. I'm not going to name any names because I'm not trying to put nobody out there that have ever paid for Sony Vegas at all. I'm sure plenty of guys have, but I don't know any real YouTubers, just by watching their videos, I should say, that have paid for Vegas. They almost always get a hookup on it. Like someone always like, yo, I copied the program, here you go, or whatever. Or someone ripped it off some torrent site. Just saying.
Talent to do the editing. I don't have. You know what I mean? I'm lucky that I've been with the exception to the rule where I've remained relevant and pertinent and been able to keep doing this the length of time that I've done, and I have a fan base that likes me enough.
So are you saying that you don't do edited content anymore because you're shitty at it? So are you admitting that it wasn't because you didn't have the time to do edited content, it's just you're really bad at editing? I mean, at least you're honest, if that's the case.
That they stick around no matter what. A lot of YouTubers that started around the time that I did, before I did, and even after I did are gone. Right?
Not everybody.
They're not doing what I'm doing. I hate to say it. You know, there's YouTubers out there that right now who haven't diversified. They don't have a live streaming presence plus a YouTube presence. They're dying. Right now, they're dying. Because
you're theoretically dying. The only reason why you're even where you're at is because people prop you up. You can barely pay your bills, Phil. You owe all this back tax money. Before the taxes came, you were still begging for money. So, I'm sorry. It's not that you've been doing the same thing for 10 goddamn years and that's why you feel like you're special. It's because people were willing, and you know, God bless them for that, but there were people that were willing to prop you up and pay for your lifestyle because you're too lazy to get off your own ass and do it yourself. That's essentially what it was. That's what really is the situation, Phil. It is what it is. You're talking about diversify. I'm sorry, the last time I checked, the only reason why you went back to live streaming is one, because you found that it could be profitable, and two, Machinima dropped you because you couldn't shut the hell up and let those people do their job. You demanded for this to be brought up to management and have your little shitty channel and your problems addressed when there were bigger and much more prestigious YouTubers who were making real money from Machinima, who had the same problem and yet weren't panicking like you were. Interesting. Okay.
They don't have any way to support themselves because YouTube ad revenue has absolutely plummeted. Anyway, they don't have a diversified presence. They have all their eggs in one basket, you know? And I hate to say it, I could name some names of some people who've been critical of me and criticized me over the years. They're in a worse situation right now than I am because their YouTube ad revenue is literally less than half of what they used to make, and they're living a lifestyle that they can't support anymore, you know? But that's what happens when you put all your eggs in one basket. Luckily for me...
It sounds a lot like you, actually.
I listened to my viewership, I listened to my fans, and last year, I diversified and I moved away from doing what I was doing, and now I have both a growing Twitch presence and an existing YouTube presence that are both supporting me, which is great. But there's these people who just hate my guts that how is Phil still surviving?
Don't you shit on YouTube regularly, though? I don't understand. Like, if you're and it's kind of like my thing to kind of like keep up to date. Well, not really up to date because I'm supposed to be late about this shit. But I'm supposed to at least have some type of competence on the shit that you do, Phil. But I can imagine that if I was like a 15-year-old kid, this shit would make my head spin. Because of just the amount of bullshit that you're throwing out there. Like, you really ask people to kind of push logic and common sense to the side and just believe you off the muscle, off the strength. But then when something comes along to contradict it, no, don't worry about that. Just continue listening to me. And then if they catch a whiff of what a detractor says, and then they come to you and be like, hey, Phil, but they said this, that, and the third. It's not true. They're trying to spin it. I didn't really say that, or I said it, but I didn't mean it that way. Like, weren't you the guy who said that the first time you were streaming, I should say, that you called your viewership lazy for not coming out to the streams because you didn't even hit 300 viewers or 400 viewers? That was you who said that, right? And then Rich called you out on it because that's who he wants to call out now. He wants to call out Rich from Review Tech USA, but he won't do it because he's a coward. Anyway, and when Rich reached out on Twitter, well, he made a post about it on Twitter, and then you reached out to him and you got butthurt because you were sleeping. And I guess apparently you wanted Rich to tweet that when you were awake. Like, Rich is supposed to know what your schedule is. Whatever. And then you, even though you admit that Rich was right on what he said, and you shouldn't have said that, on the back end of it, you didn't appreciate you being slandered at a time that you couldn't answer back. But didn't you say earlier on in the same thing that you weren't going to be able to do that because you're playing games and you don't have time for that? So which one is it? I'm just saying. Like, which one is it? DSP News.
He's still able to be here in 2018 and still be pretty, and still have an audience. You know, they're so jealous and angry and just upset with their own lives.
I'm so upset
they
with
have
my
to
life.
focus on how good I'm doing and basically try to
You're doing so
destroy
well.
me. And that's fucking sad and pathetic. It really is.
Sad and pathetic, yeah.
It's like I said over the years. I don't like Justin Bieber. I think he's a terrible person. He's a terrible singer. He doesn't deserve any credibility for anything he's ever done. But I don't sit on the internet 24/7 hating on Justin Bieber and trying to find ways to bring the kid down. I have better, more productive things.
Then again, you do bash PewDiePie and Markiplier a lot, to be honest with you. You've gone at PewDiePie quite heavily and whatnot. I wouldn't say you tried to bring him down, but you sure as hell had a good time shitting him up. I'm just saying, I'm just bringing that out there, you know, just for the sake of conversation, of course.
Things to do with my fucking life. Like, live my own fucking life. Why on earth would I focus on Justin Bieber? You know what I mean? But they're fucking sick-ass people. This is what they do. They're nuts, dude. They're fucking nuts. I don't know what else to say. If you focus your entire life on negative things to bring down others, you're a fucking mentally ill idiot. And you need to fucking look in the mirror and realize it or go get help. Because you're not doing anything for yourself.
Question, did you try to go and get help for Leanna when she was going through her issues? Or what did you do about that? I'm just curious, because, you know, for someone who seems so concerned about these mental idiots that are running around here, allegedly, who spend every minute of every day trying to dissect your life, how about the person that was actually important to you in your life? How much help did you give her? How did that work out? I'm just curious, you know. Was you making that video supposed to be like intervention? Was that you trying to reach out at her in the best way you could? I'm just curious. I just thought I'd bring that up.
You're not bringing me down. For 10 years you've been trying. I'm not going anywhere. You know, you got to do something better with your life. It's literally, like I said recently, I'm now the underdog of the internet again. In 2010, when I lost my office job...
Wait, all right, no, let's let him finish. I'm sorry.
I was the ultimate underdog. Because here I was, a guy who's just doing really unedited, raw content gameplay for YouTube. People loved it, right? People absolutely enjoyed the content. And they wanted to see me be successful. And so they supported me wholeheartedly. They wanted to see me continue to be successful. And they came out, and they were watching the videos, and they were clicking the ads, and did everything possible, and I was the underdog of the internet. So between the years of 2010 and 2012, I was the big shot when it came to Let's Plays on YouTube. Okay? I feel like I'm that again. Right now on Twitch, I feel like the guy coming up out of nowhere, right? I've been down, I've been beaten down, destroyed, and I'm back again, and people are excited again to see my stuff and to come out and have fun.
Okay, let's stop. I'm the ultimate underdog. Oh my god. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. Oh boy. And I thought those caramel brownies last night were fucking something amazing, but Jesus Christ, this is gonna be great. All right, first things first. I'm the ultimate underdog. Okay. He was the man from 2010 to 2012 as it pertains to Let's Plays. Oh my god. I'm the ultimate underdog. Okay, wait a second. All right, so let me actually get to the point of this that's actually really important out of all that he just said. Phil, I want you to hear me when I say this to you. We're in 2018. In 2010, you were the ultimate underdog. Okay? That's what you're saying. You were the ultimate underdog. 8 years later, you're back to where you were in 2010? Think about that for a minute, Phil. For the last 8 years, 8 years, you've come full circle to start back around where you were in 2010. Think about that for a minute. You had a run. I guess no one can deny that. Were you the most popular? You're the most popular person from 2010 to 2012. Oh, it's ludicrous to even think that. But whatever. I'll play with your delusion for a minute. You were the man for 2 straight years. You made all this money. You had all this success, and you squandered and blew all of it. Then you went into a fucking steady decline, lost friends, stopped talking to your family, end up eventually losing a girlfriend, end up going broke, forcing to begging for money online. And now, in 2018, you are right back to where you were in 2010, when you lost your job and you were starting to basically rise back up off of other people's generosity. Let me stop. Is this really... Oh my God. He really did say that. You really, really did say that. So in 8 years, you didn't go nowhere. In 8 years, you failed so miserably that you went full circle and you're starting back over to where you were at in 2010. I mean, yeah, people have hit rock bottom, and you're proud of that. That's the thing, and that's the thing that makes that even worse, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, all joking aside, I had an amazing run from 2010 to 2012. All right, whatever. But you're proud of that. He's proud of that. He's proud of the fact that he's right back where he was in 2010, and he thinks that he has another run in him. He really believes that. He really believes he has another run in him on another platform. And he's sitting there praying that Amazon will finally be able to take down YouTube, and then he can go ahead and start there. And then what will he do, ladies and gentlemen? He'll flood, which YouTube's not going anywhere, but he'll flood their search engine to put himself into position there. He really believes this wholeheartedly. And he's proud of it, actually. That's the sad part. He's proud of this. I'm stunned. I'm absolutely stunned. All right, let's continue.
And, you know, they'll ignore the drama bullshit, and that's good. That's really fucking good that that's the case. Nick said he's writing a story about a man that was molested a woman. The story is what happens when he gets out of prison and he tries to return to a normal life. Do you think people who committed atrocities in the past can be forgiven?
See, if you can read all of that, yet again, Phil, if you can read all that, you can ban people. I'm just saying. Just a great opportunity.
If they turn over a new leaf. Yes, if they actually honestly show remorse and they actually show an honest willingness to improve and be different, yes, I do believe that they can. Now, should it be forgotten, the horrible things that they did? Fuck no. You know?
Okay, well, so then, all right, well, then there you go, Phil. You've said some horrible shit, you've done some horrible shit, and it shouldn't be forgotten. And it won't be. So I'm glad we've come to some middle ground somewhere.
No, because it's when you forget that, and when that element of guilt or that element of responsibility gets forgotten and or pushed to the wayside, that's when sadly there's a potential for shit to happen again. Okay.
Well, then how do we explain your situation? Like, you're always doing something wrong. You're always saying some shit that's just out of line and shouldn't be said. And you just act like nothing ever happened or like it wasn't your fault. So, in theory, even though it wasn't forgotten or pushed by the wayside, if you ignore it, it's just as bad, isn't it? If you believe that it didn't happen, it's just as bad, is it not? I'm just throwing that out there for the sake of argument.
Well, I do believe that everyone deserves a second chance. I do believe that wholeheartedly.
I'm sure people have given you many chances, Phil. I'm pretty sure they've given you many.
Yeah, there could be someone who was just out of his mind, on drugs or hopped up, kills someone, goes to jail for 25 years, feels remorse for it, completely changed who they are as a person, to come out on the other end of it being not only a good person, but a person who contributes to society, And if that person really was remorseful and really did do things to atone and maybe really did, you know what I mean? I think they do deserve a second shot at life. I don't think that just because you've done one negative thing once and I'm out of gas. Oh, fuck. Well, anyway, I don't think just because you've done a negative thing once in your entire life that means that should be the end of your life completely.
Oh, boy.
You know what I mean? Smackhammer1 did a 25-bit series. I think a lot of the hate comes from a change of culture in America. Remember when you could get away with on YouTube 10 years ago, total culture shit? No, he's right. No, you're absolutely right. Seriously, like I said, 10 years ago on YouTube, it was the Wild West. You could do whatever kind of video you wanted. You could say whatever you wanted. And as long as you were under the premise of I'm joking, you could get away with it. Now...
Oh, so it was okay to sit there and... I'm not going to get into the conversation about how society should regulate itself and so on and so forth. The First Amendment is a great thing, and you should have the right to use it and whatnot, by all means. But at the same time, you also have to understand that anything that you say will cause you to be criticized later. So as long as you understand that, then it is what it is. No one's trying to take away Phil's free speech. What people are trying to do, or have been trying to do, is have him think about what he says before he says it. But keep in mind, though, if that's the case, Phil, and everything was the Wild West, and you could say whatever the hell you wanted to, and just go ahead and hide behind the premise, that's the key word, hide behind the premise that it's a joke, then that's why you spewed all that racism and all that bullshit for all those years until that shit came back to haunt you. And now, when people bring that shit up, you're quick to be like, it was all out of context. I didn't mean that. I'm not that. Nah. And yet there's hundreds of videos out there on it. Huh. And then you're doing this little thing recently, because you're trying to revise your history. Doing a terrible job at it, by the way. But you want to sit there and blame Howard Stern for that shit. Like Howard Stern doesn't have fucking lawsuits up the ass for some of the dumb shit that he's done and said. And granted, that's his realm. That's when you think of Howard Stern, I expect to hear some fucking outlandish shit. Some of it might be funny, some of it might be funny, some of it's just like, okay, I've heard enough. But yet again, Phil, at least he was man enough to accept, you know what, I said it. I said it. It is what it was. I thought it was funny. It is what it was. And he took a shot. Instead of someone like you who blames everybody else. Oh, it was meant to be a joke. It was meant to be off-colored humor and all this, that, and the third. And you guys sit there and took my videos and this, and now everybody hates me. And I know it's all your fault. Because no one looked at me in this type of way before you guys made all those fucking videos on me and shit like that. You did all this to me. It was meant to be humor. It was meant to be funny. And you guys are the ones who twisted it to this. I'm sorry I couldn't monologue it to exactly what he said. I'm just trying to pull that shit from memory. Whatever.
It's like, oh my god, you've got a pussyfoot around everything. You gotta be super careful what you fucking say and do. Because God forbid, right? God forbid you say something that offends someone or is insinuated or alluded as something insulting to someone. You gotta tiptoe on the fucking tulips, and you've got to be very careful about what you do. You're absolutely right. Mr. Swaggin says, I don't care about YouTube that much anymore. Would I consider making 30-minute videos so my sub box doesn't get flooded? Of course the answer is no. Because if I did that, I'd go from making next to no money on YouTube to no money on YouTube. Because I wouldn't even get ads on my videos. The reason that I had to do that with my videos is because literally I was told by Machinima, this was before I left being a partner with them, that YouTube was not giving me ads anymore. What the fuck? I did not do this, you stupid game. Stupid fucking garbage game.
Stupid fucking garbage game that makes some money. Okay, just want to make sure.
I wasn't getting ads on my videos anymore because my engagement was down, because people don't watch 30-minute raw gameplay videos. They skip.
So instead of putting out one video that has a higher percentage of being watched in its entirety because there's only one video, you would rather put 20 videos out and have the majority of people just ignore all of them, or only watch one video out of the 20. Is that really what you're saying? So you're saying, what? No. What? So you're gonna so you put out 200 minutes of video every day, sometimes more, but let's say 200 minutes. Okay, 10-minute videos, 20 10-minute videos, 200 minutes. the majority of your fan base probably only watches 3 to 5 of them. So out of 200 minutes, only 50 minutes are watched by each person. That makes the rest of your content essentially dead air. And then they probably skim through the rest, and you're definitely not getting anything for that. But yet you find that to be a better idea than them just watching one 30-minute video. And possibly re-watching it later. Okay, sure, why not? And you're still following Machinima's directive even after they dropped your ass, and it was their fault for treating you this way, and they were treating you like you were some punk-ass kid. And no, but instead of you being a grown-ass man who needs this, because if you don't have this, then everything goes away. But yet you're still following their narrative, even after they fired you. That sounds like cuckish behavior to me.
Through them. And when you skim through a 30-minute video, your engagement goes down, and therefore you don't get ads on your videos anymore.
So you're telling me them skimming through a 10-minute video for only 2 minutes is just as good? Okay.
So the only way for me to get ads back on my videos were to make shorter ones so people wouldn't skim as much. And that's what I did, so that's what I do.
Okay, so you acknowledge that people still skim through it, just not as much. So out of 10 minutes, if they only watch 2 minutes, that's still okay. Huh? I don't see the logic in this. This seems odd.
And I have to keep it that way from now on, forever.
You're planning on doing this forever? Wow, that's depressing.
Big Boy Dumper says, speaking of shower grooming, when you shave, you use razor blade, aftershave type of cream. I use an electric razor. I use a really good electric razor. The reason being, I have incredibly sensitive skin. I tried when I was younger to shave with a razor, and no lie, every time my face would swell up and become bright red for about 4 hours after I shaved, and I just couldn't put up with that shit anymore. So I started buying electric razors, and over the years I found this one brand that's really good. It's a, I think it's Panasonic brand, and it's really, really good. And I've actually used that electric razor, no lie, for about 7 years. I had one, it got old and worn out, so I bought it the same exact model, and that's what I use. Ooh.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, especially for anybody who's like just coming up and like you may just be starting to shave, that right there might be a good example of someone who just doesn't know how to shave, first off. Second off, that might be also an example of someone who doesn't know how to aftershave or know how to use the hot towel treatment, which would help minimize that. And third, ladies and gentlemen, we may actually have found the root to why Phil is so sensitive himself, to be honest with you. I mean, but yet this is the same guy who was the badass who was willing to fight anybody, but yet you got sensitive skin. There's nothing wrong with having sensitive skin, by the way, but what? Like, it doesn't sound like you know how to shave properly anyway. Hence the reason why that's the reason why he lets that shit grow out the way he does all the time. Because he doesn't know how to shave properly. That's interesting. Don't you have a dad, though, Phil? I mean, you have a father, right? Like, I think? I'm pretty sure. Did he teach you nothing? I'm just curious. I feel like... I mean, because my pop did. My dad showed me how to shave and whatnot. And I've never cut myself or anything of the sort and whatnot. Come close a couple times, but that's what you get for drinking heavily the night before. But for the most part, though, I've made it through pretty good. And yeah, he's taught me a lot of tricks of the trade and whatnot. I mean, not to say that you need a father to learn how to shave. You could Google it. You know what I'm saying? Dollar Shave Club, all kinds of other shit, dude. Their websites show you different techniques and things like that stuff. But it just sounds like you just don't know how to shave. So you just went with the electric because... Which I have an electric razor too. But, I don't know. Sometimes I just really like that really, like, close, clean type of feel. But that's just me, though. It sounds like you just don't know how to shave properly. It really does.
I wish. I actually...
So with that being said, quick question, guys. Did Phil's father disappoint him? Or is Phil a disappointment to his father? I'm being dead ass serious here. That's a serious question. There's no joke. There's no punchline. You know, is he a disappointment to his father, or did his father disappoint him? That's a harsh question, but I feel the need to ask it.
would like to shave with a normal razor, but I can't do it. I've tried it, and every time I try, my face gets really irritated, like really badly irritated. I've got such stupidly sensitive skin. Sometimes, no lie.
And actually, I'm sorry, let me wait.
I'm like, oh, my nose itches. I'll go like this, and I look in the mirror. I got a big red welt on the side of my fucking nose. Like, what the fuck is this? Well, my doctor told me I went to a dermatologist when I was younger because my mom used to go to a dermatologist because she had bad acne when she was younger. And so I used to go, and he told me when I was a kid, he's like, yeah, you're going to have the same skin as your mom. You're going to either have bad acne or very sensitive skin. There's nothing you can do about it. And I actually had really bad acne in high school. The only reason I don't have terribly bad acne anymore is because he put me on Accutane. And the Accutane nuked the shit out of the fucking acne, so I still get it, but I don't get it nearly as bad as I used to. It completely changed, like, my fucking body. Seriously, like, my metabolism and everything has been completely changed. Shut up.
Sounds like a mutant. Anyway, with that being said, if he could rub his nose and, you know, it can easily bruise, an electric razor probably is not doing you too many favors either. Just saying. Yeah, it's probably a bit smoother. It's definitely faster. Give or take. I don't know. I feel sometimes doing it by hand is actually quicker. But that's just me, though. I feel like you would probably bruise just as much, though, using an electric razor, too. At times, I should say. I don't know. We're going to have to see. I just think he doesn't know how to shave. I really don't.
Ew.
I wonder, is that why he's so pale, though? Because he's really, really pale. So it's like, I mean, if that medication has changed him in mysterious ways that we don't know about yet, is that possibly why he's so pale? Because he's just sickly pale at times. Yeah, just wondering.
Anonymous. I got an anonymous tip. It says, couldn't you also tweet your content so people wouldn't skim around a 30-minute video? Choosing to make shorter videos kind of seems like the way to go. Dude, what do you not understand about raw, unedited gameplay content? This is what I've literally done since day one. This is what I want to do. I don't want to be every other YouTuber who edits their content for the best of montages and has scripted comedy and or only edits in the funny parts. When I play a game, you see an accurate representation of what that game is. That's the point. That's why my kind of content for YouTube now fits a live stream so well, because you can't edit stuff on the fly on a live stream. Why don't you just change your entire formula?
So if that was the case, then why did you ever leave Twitch? I mean, let's be honest. His type of gameplay is still relic-y at best. There are other people who do it, like who does? I think it's like MK Fire and Ice, for example. He's a good example of someone who does it. He does it with commentary and without commentary, so he goes the extra step, and he does edited shit too. On top of that, but anyway, he does it like that too. But he gives that shit to you in like an hour to 2 hour videos and shit. So like you could have pretty much the whole game knocked out in like 4 or 5 videos. For example, when he breaks up his parts, sometimes it's great. But as for Phil, so just to give you an example. But back to Phil, if that was the case, then why did you ever stop streaming? And I don't mean on YouTube. I can understand why you would do that. But why did you ever stop streaming on Twitch? Like, that just sounds... I mean, if a bit rate was enough to run your ass off, and yet that was your format, that was your thing, why didn't you just stick with it? I mean, I can understand what some of you guys are getting ready to type at me now. It's like, oh, it's because you only give a shit about the money. And that's true, and obviously that's what the case was. But in truth, if he had stuck in there like all those other guys did, there would be way more money waiting for him in the long run. If you think about it. I don't know. I'm just some idiot that makes YouTube videos about this idiot.
Completely from what you did that was successful all along. Because I'm not an asshole. I'm not a sellout. I'm not a shill. I'm not a fucking moron who constantly changes what they want to do for the sake of making a buck. That's why.
Wow.
What a dumb fucking thing to say, seriously.
What the hell?
Unbelievable. As people still to this day say stupid shit like that.
And
why didn't you just completely change everything you ever did?
And he wonders why.
What I find hilarious is that...
And this idiot wonders why people hate him. This guy asks you a question. At the end of the day, he asks you a question. And you couldn't even answer that properly. You couldn't even do that right. You felt the need to insult him. Why do you think people really are iffy? And see, I had made a comment earlier on in this video about, you know, why his chat are essentially most of the people in his chat, I should say, are eunuchs and just kind of follow along with what he says. But in truth, it's stuff like this. You can't ask this man a simple question without being bashed for it later. Because you don't know what is going to set him up. Well, that's a lie. We all know what's going to set him off. But if you're someone who's just a casual fan of his, you're not going to know that. That's why you have to watch detractor shit. Because you can find out what's going to set him off and what isn't. Because we'll point that shit out. He'll lie to you and say he doesn't get mad about everything and gets mad at everything. Or he said, no, let me reword that actually. He says he doesn't get mad at anything, but he gets mad at everything. Yeah, that sounds better. There we go. So, yeah. I mean, come on, Phil. He asked you a question, man. A question. It's not even that wasn't even a trollish question. That was just a general thought.
There are morons who come into stream chat and they spam, why am I toxic? Whenever I, like, respond to something with, like, emotion.
That's just funny.
Why am I toxic? Guess what? You know what's really toxic? Going into someone's stream chat and spamming, why am I toxic, like a fucking retard? Instead of actually listening to what they say and realize that when I get, you know, emotional about something, it's probably because there's a reason behind it. Like,
sensitive skin?
Like, for years, as YouTube changed, as my...
Did you get it from your mother?
YouTube channels got smaller, and I told people, you know, please, if you could help out and be supportive, support my Patreon, support this, because I know that I have thousands...
You had the Becker money?
...of people out there who like what I do, and YouTube has screwed me over a million times. Why don't you just change all your content completely? Well, then why don't I just stop making fucking YouTube videos and go into banking, stupid?
I mean, you do have a business finances degree, allegedly.
You know what I mean? Like, are you fucking so brain dead stupid? I make a certain kind of video for a reason, because I feel that's a worthwhile kind of video. Because, by the way, there's still not a lot of people who do it like this anymore. The raw content video is...
That's true, but they get tens of thousands of views, if not more. You're barely breaking 1,000. At times.
Not that popular anymore. I'm one of the few who's a holdout who still does it. You know what I...
So what are you doing? Are you holding out believing that there's going to be like a manual reset and then all of a sudden you'll be back on top? Because if that's the case, that's just delusional. You're starting to sound a lot like them brain-dead monkeys you keep talking about.
I mean, and I feel that there's a purpose behind it and a reason behind it and there's value behind it. Yeah, I could completely change what I do, but then I'm not doing what I do anymore, so what's the fucking point? Right? It's just so stupid. It doesn't make any sense. What people say, it's stupidity. So yeah, oh no, I get a little...
No, so you won't change because that's what makes... Because you keep doing what you're doing because that makes you you. Okay. But what you're doing is failing, but you don't care because as long as you get to do what you want, you're just going to go along, you're just going to keep doing it. But you'll criticize the very people who are fans of your material, who want to see you get better, and in turn, by getting better, doing something else or trying something else, you'll bash them because they're stupid idiots and they should understand that you're doing what you want because that's what you want to do. Huh? That just seems unnecessarily selfish. And more importantly, it sounds idiotic as shit. Because if you had made the changes that people asked you to, you wouldn't have to beg them for money. So, you want to keep doing what you're doing, but then you want to have the nerve to go ahead and be like, pay me money so I can keep doing what I'm doing, but I'm not going to change the quality of my content. But I'm going to just give you more of the I'm not going to change the quality of the content, but I'm going to just give you more of it. But the quantity is just going to keep getting shelled out at you. Okay. Oh my god. I think this is the first time I've done one of his Q&As, and this shit is just astounding.
A little heated because someone said something stupid on stream. Why am I toxic? You want to know who's toxic? You want to know who's fucking toxic? Your parents. Because they're letting you use the fucking internet and say dumb shit on the internet because I know you're like fucking 8 years old.
Wow.
That's who's toxic. The people who pay your fucking Comcast bill because we all know you don't have a fucking job.
So you're going to shit on him?
Okay.
So wait, so you're going to shit on him, you're going to shit on his parents, but then It's that same kid and his demographic is who you ask for money from. Huh?
I am not angered. Waifu Destroyer Matt.
Waifu Destroyer Matt decides to come in. Oh, let's see if you get shitted on.
I am just
I have a feeling you're probably not going to. He's already done that enough. And he knows you're going to come back anyway, so. Oh, they should call that shit Cuckistan. That's what they should call Phil's community. At least some of the people in it anyway. Jesus Christ. Alright, let's go.
responding very honestly to things being said. And people sometimes feel that when I'm honest and open about stuff, they get, oh my God, Phil's pissed off today. No, it's not the case. I'm just, I tell it like it is. A lot of people don't understand that. I'm sorry that I'm not like other streamers and other YouTubers who sugarcoat every fucking thing and act happy-go-lucky positive every possible moment. I'm a real human,
No one,
I'm actually a real human who doesn't do that shit.
A real human? You're Donald Trump?
Dark Post says my style is much better suited for Twitch. No, absolutely. It was very popular on YouTube back in the day. Then YouTube turned into highly over-edited, overproduced, scripted comedy, fake assholes who are pushing products down your throat.
Fake assholes.
And if you actually believe in 2018 that the vast majority of big YouTubers aren't fake, and you think you're watching a legitimate personality, you are really, really ignorant and gullible. I hate to say it. Because that's why they're still popular, because they changed to be sellouts and shills. And half the stuff they do are paid promotions. It's true. It's ridiculous that that's what YouTube's become. And or drama video makers, which I'm not. I'm not going to do just constant drama video. I like playing games and having fun with them and sharing those raw experiences with you guys and gals. So...
Wait a second. If you're all about playing games and having fun, you're not playing Mario Sunshine? Why? Because you're not going to get paid for it? But I thought it was all about having fun and sharing your experiences. And you were paid for that game. You were paid $1,250 for that game, up front, to be exact. But I thought it was all about just having fun, Phil, but yet you don't play games and you don't finish games because of why? Exactly? I thought it was about just you being a Let's Player and sitting on your ass and having a good time. There's so many contradictions here. I'm so confused.
That's who I am. And yeah, you're right. It's more catered towards Twitch because on Twitch, you're doing it live, right? You're not sitting there in front of a video editor for 5 hours a day to edit your best of montages of the gameplay you did today. You're just being real with people about gameplay experiences on the fly.
Hey, I don't know about you, but like D and Memology 101, I love their shit. I love their content. That shit's great. Like I said, Snor Purnell, David Davison, Volt Boy, SJ Samosa, SJ Cruz. There's a bunch of guys who do edit stuff, and that shit's amazing. And that's just kind of in this circle and whatnot. I feel like, Phil, you're really just scared of the effort. He really is. He's just scared to put in the time and whatnot, believing that it's not going to pay off. It's laziness. It's laziness just to be lazy and nothing else. And that's scary. That's very, very scary if you think about it. I was continuing.
You know what I mean?
Like I said, it's a lot of time to read that comment.
I agree. I think Twitch is more suited to what I do now. I totally wholeheartedly agree. There are still people who watch my stuff on YouTube, and I'm not going to abandon them. But at the same time, I do think that Twitch is the way to go. What the fuck?
For now.
Alright, Master Saru, the 25-bit cheer says, no, damn dude, no fucking chill, cut it out, there's children watching, Kappa. That's what I mean, like, yeah, I'm sure that there's a bunch of, like, 5-year-olds watching, like, sorry, those are the people who watch PewDiePie and fucking Logan Paul. They're not here watching me on Twitch, playing games and having fun. Those aren't the people watching my shit. That's why it's hilarious when the detractors spin it. When Phil masturbated on stream in 2016 in front of thousands of children. It's like, actually, no, what really happened was, in 2016, it was a pre-stream where literally there was about 100 people, if that, sitting watching pre-stream. Because it was just, that was before I ran, like, music and ads. It was just, oh, the stream is starting shortly, please stand by, and it showed my PS4 dashboard. So all it showed was the webcam with me, obviously, having a little happy accident there. But, no, it wasn't thousands of children. First of all, no children watch me. 0 children actually fucking watch me play games at all.
Really? What about that 8-year-old wasn't old enough to that's not old enough to have a job, and his mom and dad play for Comcast. So he can make stupid comments on the internet. What about him? You want to take that back? Or we're going to just go along with it? Okay, we're just going to go along with it. All right. See, ladies and gentlemen, it's hard to be a detractor. And I'm not even... And it's hard. I'm still a Padawan. This shit is hard. Because he lies so blatantly. And he lies so much that he forgets the previous lie. And then when it's time to come back to it, he doesn't even know how to regulate. Like, he lies just so habitually. Jesus Christ. Oh, my God.
And it wasn't in front of thousands of people. It was like 100 people on a pre-stream, half of which weren't even paying attention. But people want to make shit up. What happened?
Half of them weren't paying attention. Weren't they? They're the ones being like, oh, God, Phil, no. No, don't do it, Phil, no. It's... Wait a second. How do you... Wait a second. Wait. How do you know how many people were in the chat? And how do you know that half of them weren't paying attention? Does that mean you were actually looking at the stream while you were doing that? Does that mean you did it on purpose? I might be making more out of that than... No. Okay, you said there was less than 100 people on stream, and you said that that's not even what was going on in the chat. How did you know what the chat was saying at that time? Now I'm tempted to go and look at a video that actually has the chat in it. I know somebody has it with the chat in it. I hope someone did. Shit. Yeah, there's some intelligent bastard out there that did it. I know someone has it. I'm tempted to look now. Shit.
Was people illegally ripped that footage. Okay, illegally, which I didn't even record that or upload that to YouTube. Someone illegally ripped it and put it all over the internet, and now thousands of people have seen it. But it was literally like 100.
Nah, more than thousands of people have seen it, buddy. Way more than thousands of people have seen it. You better try hundreds of thousands, sir. You made it on the news in multiple countries. Yo, people in multiple countries talked about that shit. I saw you on Telemundo. That shit was amazing. Oh, that shit was amazing. Oh my God. Oh, that shit was amazing.
People, but that's it. Let's spin the truth to pass our narrative. Phil's a horrible pedophile and a public masturbator who did this in front of thousands of children. No, you're the moron who illegally stole the video and uploaded it for thousands of children to see. You're the person who actually is sick, not me. I had an honest...
Whoa. I'm sorry. Could you not have checked and made sure your camera was off? You couldn't... What did Almighty Tevin say? There's like a button on OBS that you could press and then automatically your image just disappears. You couldn't have done that. You're the one who sat there and did your little happy mistake. Like, that ain't nobody else's fault. You're the one who did it. While broadcasting live. Oh, you're such an idiot, Phil. You're such an idiot. You're not even a happy idiot. You're just an idiot.
Mistake and accident. You're the sicko who distributed it publicly over the internet.
Oh, man.
You're the sick one. Whoa. Asshole. Give it a 55 to 25-bit cheer.
Get shot.
He asked, where does the phrase, why am I toxic, come from? I feel like I'm missing something. Apparently when I was playing Dark Souls at some point, I got toxic. You know what I mean? I actually got sick with the toxic illness status ailment. And I was so confused, I didn't understand what was going on. I was so frustrated, I started screaming, why am I toxic? And people turned it into a meme, apparently. But now what they do is they come in the stream, and whenever I barely say anything that could be inflammatory, they'll spam it in the stream saying, why am I toxic, right? It's so stupid.
Oh, that's great.
Doesn't make any sense. Tokyo Trump did a 25-bit cheer, says, Phil illegally ripped it in front of 100 people. Yeah, if you want to say, oh, Phil, accidentally masturbated, but all you saw was his O face in front of 100 people on a pre-stream no one was really paying attention to. That's accurate. Not Phil masturbated in front of thousands of kids. It's like, what the fuck? Are you retarded? Yes, you are. Because you blatantly lied.
Wow.
Again, to try to pass your negative drama narrative that's not factually true. You're an asshole. Master Sorry says, let's get out of the drama. What do you think of the Oscars? I don't think of the Oscars whatsoever. I could care less about them. Most of the movies that win Oscars, no one ever fucking saw anyway. So who cares? S Bucks Chris says, why do people think that having a girlfriend or wife means you can't jerk it? I do it to kill time. There's a lot of quality free porn out there. Well, it all depends. It all depends. Some women don't give a shit. Like, as long as you're not cheating, you can do whatever you want.
That was pretty funny.
Anything stupid, you know.
I'm not mad at that.
Some women actually do care if their men masturbate when they're around. I mean, obviously the fucked up dysfunctional thing would be if you're masturbating but you're not having sex with your girlfriend. Obviously there's a problem there then, right? See what I mean? So I can understand. I mean, everyone's different. Everyone has a different kind of relationship. It's not like there's one consistent kind of relationship that exists, you know. Some people are more protective of their significant other and or more demanding of their significant other. Some people are more open. They don't give a shit. You know. Like, I'll be honest. If I was in a relationship with someone, would I care if when I wasn't around that person masturbated? No. I would not care. I would not care. But if we're having a bad time, we're not getting along, and we're not having, we're supposed to be in a committed relationship, but we're not having sexual relations, and then I find out this person's masturbating like crazy, you know what I mean, to get off, and, we're not reconciling, then I would have an issue with it, yes.
So was that what happened with you, Phil? Here, I gotta bring that back. I gotta bring that back, because, you said you wanted to be honest. So, is that what happened with you guys, Phil? Like, because I think, if I remember correctly, Leanna was at work when you decided to go ahead and play with little Phil. Were you guys going through problems then? Because I'm trying to think what was the next significant situation that happened after that. The emergency was still a couple months off at that point. That was way more than a couple months off. So yeah, so was that what was going on? You guys were beefing, and she wasn't giving up the cookie, so you had to do that. That was before the brownie showed up. All right, let's go.
If I was in a relationship with someone, would I care if when I wasn't around that person masturbated? No, I would not care. I would not care. But if we're having a bad time, we're not getting along, and we're not having, we're supposed to be in a committed relationship, but we're not having sexual relations, and then I find out this person's masturbating like crazy, you know what I mean, to get off, and, we're not reconciling, then I would have an issue with it. Yes, absolutely.
It's funny too, right? Because that gives me a little bit of flashbacks of this, of that, of that mystery woman post, that mystery woman post that was put up. That kind of triggered something there for a minute. That's kind of funny though. So yeah, I wonder if Phil was, I guess, maybe Phil and the panda were having some problems, having some issues, and they couldn't reconcile. So that's what happened. I guess that's what it was. All right, let's continue. Oh man, that's why you guys got to pay attention to his when he does stuff like this, man. Because that shit could be a gold mine. It could be. You'd be surprised when he tells the truth. It's few and far between, but every once in a while he lets one rip. No pun intended.
Now it's sad because this year, like, there's nothing going on in April at all. It's like a dead fucking month. So, excuse me, what I might actually do, I'm thinking for if the first week of April, my birthday, what I may do is go into Seattle with my girlfriend because she's never been to Seattle. She's visited me several times and spent a lot of time with me, but she's never been in the city of Seattle. So I think I would take her there and show her all the sights, I think that would be a fun thing to do for my birthday. But outside of that, I don't even know.
As long as you're not stupid and get yourself a hotel room out there when you're only like a half hour out. As long as you don't do that dumb shit again. Remember what kind of trouble that was last time.
What I'm going to be doing in April at this point. So, let's see.
I mean, I guess you could make the argument that it is his birthday. So if they decide to, get a nice hotel room for the night or something, I suppose. But if you guys remember that one, when Phil did that vacation blog with the panda, and they were out there for like 3 or 4 nights, I can't remember. And you remember how the shitstorm that started. I don't know. We'll see. I guess if it's only for one night, I guess it's not that big of a deal. Just to take her out to the city, you know what I'm saying, and whatnot. They can see the coast and all that. I don't know. I guess that wouldn't be too bad, I suppose. If it was like one day, I could probably let him slide on that. Anything after that, though, his ass is grass.
Dark Poe asks if I ever been recognized in public as DSP. Yes. I mean, I've even talked about it. I said yes, people have recognized me, and some people are not very nice, very gracious, and basically they just say, oh, you know, great to meet you, shake your hand or whatever. Some of them want a selfie with me, which is cool.
Did you wash those hands first, though? I hope you wash your hands first.
Cool. I'm always happy to take a picture with someone, as long as they're respectful. Some people even ask for autographs, which is rare, but some people have asked for autographs over the years, and I'll give them. And I only charge $400 each. Yeah, right. No, it's always free. I'm not a dick. Okay. What is this? Oh, nothing good. What's this? Aha. I sound like fucking Jack Skellington. What's this? What's this? Oh, it's a medical kit. What's this? Oh, it's a piece of shit. What's this? Oh, it's a level 1 vest. I already have a level 2, so I don't need it. What's this? Grits asks, why don't I listen to music? You should blast some tunes whilst cooking and cleaning. Because usually I like to concentrate on what I'm doing, quite frankly. I don't do a lot of driving, so I don't need to listen to anything in the car because everything that I would drive to is incredibly close to me. There's not a significant amount of downtime to listen to any music in the car. When I used to commute...
Wait. You do realize that songs, these... Wait a second. What? You do realize that songs are like literally 3 or 4 minutes, right? I very likely doubt that you get into your car and go anywhere that's 3 or 4 minutes away. If that's the case, you should probably walk. You could use the exercise. But, really? Like, I couldn't imagine stepping into my car and not playing any music. Huh? Okay, I'm confused now. I'm so confused.
To and from work in the mid-2000s, excuse me. Yes, I used to listen to music, but there's no reason to do it. There's no opportunity for me to listen to music in a car anymore.
No
At home, I'm either gaming with you guys, uploading videos, which I need to listen to each video to name it, so I can't play music there.
What?
Or if I'm anywhere else, like in the kitchen cooking, either I'm concentrating on what I'm doing, or maybe I put something on the TV. Like I've been watching Star Trek Voyager. I'm almost done with the series. I'm on the last season now. So I'll have that going, you know.
Wait a second. So you could watch You said you need to concentrate on what you're doing in the kitchen, which is whatever. You can't listen to music, but you can concentrate. You can't concentrate while music's playing, but you can watch a show while doing what you're doing. I'm so confused. What? Like, I don't know about you guys, but like, I personally enjoy, like, especially like if I have to do a lot of paperwork, for example. I actually like having music playing in the background, or I like binge watching videos and shit. Like I'll just have them playing in the background or whatnot. But I've never been distracted by a song. I just I don't get that. He must have a really short attention span. That's scary. I'd love to hear what Arjun has to say about that. Shout out to Arjun, by the way.
Basically, all the opportunities where I used to listen to music, I just don't have those opportunities anymore.
Huh. Okay. I guess.
I know a lot of people that just lay around and relax and listen to music.
Yeah.
I never...
Yeah, I love that. Shit, man. Lay around, listen to some good jazz? Hell yeah. It's fucking great. I mean, I like jazz, though, so it's just me. Classical music, too. I mean, I like classical music, also. Interesting. Wow, you don't even have... You're so busy that you don't even have time for music. Life must be hell. I gotta tell you, life must be horrible. Absolutely horrible.
I've literally never done that. The only time I would listen to music seriously is in a car, or in the 1990s when I was young, a teenager, I would play like Super NES all day, and I would grind in like Street Fighter 2. And when I was playing it, I would fucking play music then, like Bullsh and fucking Stone Temple Pilots and shit like that. That was about it. It's like I've said before. It's kind of like when Philip J. Fry in Futurama said, "Man, back in the day, I used to be in arcades. I would listen to Rush in my headphones and drink grape soda." That's pretty much what I would do. I would sit in my room, play Street Fighter 2 with a boombox playing fucking, Nirvana and fucking, that kind of music while I play Street Fighter 2, with the drink or whatever next to me. But I don't really have any downtime in my life where I just sit around and listen to music anymore. Anything that I have, I watch something from TV or, something like that. All right.
I gotta tell you, ladies and gentlemen, life must be horrible when you don't have time for music. That's... I mean, granted, though, too, that was like the worst possible excuse I've ever heard, but... Wow, that's actually kind of depressing.
Last match of the night, everybody. It's like a surprise. Just asked the stream chat. He says, did I ever go see live events or had the opportunity to meet any pro wrestlers before. Yes, I've seen 3 live events. I saw a Raw that was in Connecticut. I saw a SmackDown that was in Connecticut. And it's the infamous SmackDown where Brock Lesnar had the cage match with Paul Heyman. Look that one up. It actually happened. I saw that one in person. And it was hilarious because they botched the whole thing. What was supposed to happen was Brock was wrestling Paul Heyman and beating him up. And then the cage was chained together. So then Kurt Angle ran out to save Heyman with clippers. But he ran out and he couldn't find the clippers. So then he got clippers and he couldn't get the cage open. They wouldn't work. So he said, screw this. I guess they used the wrong kind of chain. They couldn't be cut by the clippers. So he just climbed the cell anyway and just went in from the top, which is hilarious. They reshot that 4 times and never got it right. And on TV, it still looks terrible. So I saw that in person. I actually saw one Raw show in person. It was one of the anniversary shows. I believe RVD was on it. And then I saw WrestleMania. I don't remember which one it was. WrestleMania 21, WrestleMania 19, WrestleMania 20, one of them. No, excuse me, like WrestleMania 29 or 30 or something like that. I don't know. It was the one I went with John Rambo to. The one where it was the first Rock versus Cena as the main event. It was absolutely terrible.
Yeah,
it was good to see in person. It was the debut of the Shield at WrestleMania, which was really cool. I don't know why I just picked up a worse helmet. I wasn't paying attention. So overall, it was a good show, but that was also the one where CM Punk wrestled Undertaker. But well,
okay, I'm a wrestling head too, so he said that WrestleMania, that's when CM Punk faced the Undertaker. I think CM Punk was supposed to actually wrestle. I can't remember. He was supposed to wrestle for the title that year, though, because if you guys saw the or if you guys have listened to, I should say, the Colt Cabana CM Punk interview, which is a great interview, by the way. You guys should really listen to it. He actually talks about that, how he was supposed to wrestle for the title. That was supposed to be like, that year was supposed to be his WrestleMania moment, so to speak, and he never got it. I do remember that one, actually. That was actually a pretty good match between The Undertaker and CM Punk, by the way. I mean, granted, CM Punk lost, but he was supposed to. Which leads to one last thing, and we'll continue. For any of you guys who actually used to follow it, because I think The Undertaker just made his return recently. The Undertaker's streak, you guys know what I'm talking about if you guys are wrestling heads, or even if you're just casual wrestlers, actually, everybody should know what that is. It's the basically the longest undefeated streak in WrestleMania. I gotta say, by far, I'd love to get your opinions on this. That was the worst thing that Vince McMahon ever signed off on. I mean, it was Vince McMahon's idea, but it was the worst idea to ever do. Like, you gotta understand that, like, the streak was like the crown jewel of the WWE. It was something that no wrestling organization had, as it pertains to not just to WrestleMania. I'm just talking about to a main event where you had one guy who constantly went undefeated every year that he wrestled. And it was the worst thing that he ever did. Like, you didn't just kill The Undertaker's, I don't know if I'd say his legacy. I feel it's a big part of it. But not only did you kind of shit on that, but you kind of shitted on your own your own wrestling organization too at the same time. It was a crown jewel that no one ever had. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one was ever going to have a run like that. You know what I mean? And to do it for Brock, who was already over. You know what I'm saying? Brock didn't need to get boosted. He didn't need to get boosted up. He was already over. Like, I don't know. When you look at shit like that, it's like you wonder what Vince is thinking. But I will say that this XFL, this might work the second time around. We'll see. Especially since when you look at, if any of you guys who are big into football, when you see a lot of those camera angles and stuff like that, it's because of Vince that the NFL has that. He's the one that actually really originated that and started. So I don't know, but that's not until 2020, so we'll see. Anyway, sorry guys, that was just a little segue.
All in all, it was disappointing because the main event was a show we didn't want to see, and that's why we left early. We did not give a fuck about the Rock and John Cena wrestling. And incidentally, the match was a complete waste of time because then they redid it at WrestleMania the next year anyway, so there was no fucking point in even staying and watching it, so I'm glad we left. It's just people get fooled by stupid WWE bullshit. Once in a lifetime. That's how they advertise it. Then the next year, it's the same event. Oops, it's not once in a lifetime anymore. We're so fucking unoriginal, we're doing the same main event twice. Dark post says, with the shivers down my spine. No, my whole body was uncontrollably shivering. I had what they're called the chills. It's when your body temperature is so high because you have a bad fever that even like ambient room temperature seems very cold, and it makes your body completely like shake and gyrate. And that's what was happening to me. It was really bad, like really bad chills. I couldn't control them at all. I had to get under the cover. No lie, I got under my covers, which are flannel sheets, under the comforter. I had 2 spare pillows, and I put them on the sides of my body to retain body heat. And I just tried to lay like that for a while. And I passed out. I woke up an hour later completely drenched in sweat. My whole body was completely soaked in sweat.
Oh, man.
It was disgusting.
I don't even have a comment for that.
But after that, I went back to sleep, woke up, and I felt perfectly fine, so.
There you guys go. Apparently, pig sweat has some type of therapeutic or medicinal values to it. And there you go. That's no. Oh, that's great.
I'm not even kidding. When you have it, it's uncontrollable. You go like this, like your jaw shakes. Your teeth chatter. That happened to me. My teeth were chattering. Tanya Raven.
Speaking of which, we'll actually cover the video on that because there's a couple of videos out there on that about him being sick. Some people think he was just hungover, which seems logical, to be honest with you.
Said I was willing to.
But then again, I'm recording this on Monday, and I don't know if he's streaming. So, or if he did stream, I should say.
Gift you Monster Hunter World, would you still play it? It's better than the beta. I don't know, man. At this point, number 1, I didn't even play it on launch weekend. Number 2, I'm already backed up on Dragon Ball Fighters because I was sick today. I didn't get to stream it. I already have Final Fantasy Dissidia that I bought already this week that I haven't. I'm gonna have to figure out when I'm gonna play it. I got UFC coming up. I think it's a dead thing, man. I don't think I'm gonna be playing Monster Hunter. Honestly, I don't think anyone wants to see me play. I played the beta and no one liked it. Literally, everyone who was there for the beta was like, "Man, this is fucking boring. Do something else." And it's like I said, the game has a fan base. I get it. Just like other games that have fan bases, but it's for a select group of people who really like the game. You know, for an outsider to try to play the game at a starting level isn't very entertaining to watch, especially because I won't know what the fuck I'm doing. If I was going to be doing constant co-op with a group of friends, it would probably be a lot of fun, but that wouldn't happen. So honestly, I think it's just...
Yeah, you would need friends for that.
Not a game for me. Fimbo Slice asks, will I ever go to PAX West and film? It's possible. Sadly, the reason I haven't done it every year was literally because I was too busy working. The first year that I moved here, I wanted to go. And I was actually offered a pass, but at that point, my ex-girlfriend actually got really sick.
Ooh.
Good.
Wow. That guy.
Yeah, my ex-girlfriend got really sick that summer.
The guy is
so
shooting
I
at
said,
you.
I'm not going to go, you know, because she's sick. What am I going to do? And then after that, I was never offered a pass again, but I was just ended up being so busy. Literally, that's where my money troubles happened in 2015.
You didn't need to ask for a pass, though. You could just, or you didn't need to be offered a pass, I should say. You could have asked Machinima for a pass, and they would have sent you. There are plenty of people with Machinima, even to this day, who ask. It's PAX. Just about everybody goes to PAX, and anybody can just about get in. So, you know, I'm just saying, you don't need any special treatment for that. It's just not like E3 or anything.
So I was never able to go because I always have to work. I can't take time away. So, will I ever go to PAX West? It's possible. If I was going to go to a convention, it would make sense that would be it, considering that's...
I can't leave the money alone. The stream needs me. That's awesome. Oh, that's awesome.
The one that's closest. But sadly, I don't know if I'll ever be able to. I have to get out of the money situation I'm in right now. Omega Wuss says, do you think you'll end up playing Monster Hunter off-stream? No. Guys, I don't know how many times I've explained to you, I don't even play games off-stream.
Exactly.
The only games I play are mobile games. And quite frankly, once my girlfriend moves in with me, I'm quitting them all. I don't have a lot of free time outside of streaming besides doing stuff that's not gaming. Like, for example, watching TV. Tonight I'm going to watch NXT TakeOver, the NXT, WWE NXT pay-per-view event. I'm going to watch, tomorrow I'll be watching Royal Rumble. I watch different television series and stuff on Netflix and on Amazon Video. I try to do in my free time, I try not to game because I'm gaming all day long every day. I want my free time to not also be gaming so that way I don't get burnt out on gaming constantly. So that's why. No, I will not. Absolutely, I will not be playing Monster Hunter World off stream.
That just sounds depressing. All right, guys. So there we go. That was insightful. I have to tell you, that was very insightful. Where are we at? Okay, so we're right about where I thought we'd be. So, ladies and gentlemen, there was our Q&A. Thank you to Mr. Stuffs for that. Hope you guys found that entertaining. Hopefully you found that shit actually rather informative, because he let out a lot of stuff there that he's not going to realize until he gets exploited. So, yeah. Yeah. So this was what, video number 3 that I did today? The other ones are much shorter though, so that worked out. All right, guys. So there we go on that. Very interesting, kinda. Hopefully entertaining. Hopefully, and yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you just cannot count on. The GTG Network and Productions. Take care of yourselves out there. This is GTG signing off. End of broadcast. Oh boy. My skin is so sensitive. Oh.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my god. Stop fucking lying.